It is 7 o'clock. You know what that means? It means it's time for the pregame for high school football. We've got a good one for you tonight. I'd like to welcome in our sponsor of your OEB Law Game of the Week, OEB Law. It's an East Tennessee law-based firm with a national practice. OEB is led by Timothy G. Elrod, and Elrod is from and still calls Anderson County his home. OEB's practiced in state, federal, and city courts. At OEB, we treat our clients like family and are proud to have earned a reputation as East Tennessee's premier personal injury law office, and that's why they've been voted best of Knoxville for the past 3 years. We are very happy to have OEB on board with us again this year, and I'm very happy to have my color announcer on board with us this year as well. I'm Aaron Harvey, Mr. James Gibson, sitting alongside of me. Hey, listen, man, this is week 10, so it's been an exciting season that we're going to remember for a very long time. And why? Well, of course, you know why. It's the coronavirus. And on that note, let's go ahead and mention a couple games we won't see because of this COVID-19. And Harriman had to forfeit to Oakdale. That game was supposed to take place tonight. And Oneida canceled its season finale with Coalfield. So we won't see that game next week. So that's pretty unfortunate. It'll be the first time since 1947 that those teams didn't play each other.
Oh, I was definitely looking forward to that matchup. It's truly unfortunate for everyone that this didn't happen, as it would have been a great game.
It would have been, but we will get to see Coalfield play tonight because we are at Rochelle Field. Oliver Springs is in town. And listen, a regular season region championship could be on the line tonight, okay? We're walking into WrestleMania. That belt is right there for somebody to grab and take it, and you love it when that is the case this late in the season.
Oh, yeah, it's a great matchup. You got two teams that love to power football, very physical program. So a lot of similarities here, so we're expecting a good one tonight.
Yeah, we've got some other games of significance around the area as far as playoff berths are concerned and playoff rankings, and we'll get into that when we get back. This is the pregame show on your OEB Law Game of the Week.
OEB Law is
excited to be a part of this year's football season. School spirit is at an all-time high. OEB Law is proud to give back and support our community. Come cheer on these great teams with us. And remember, if you've been injured or need legal help, OEB Law will be there for you. So visit wreckintoacheck.com or give us a call, 865-546-1111, and let OEB Law turn your wreck into a check.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We built our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Here is Helen Hammer.
Thank you, Mr. Walker.
A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low prices.
Race on down!
And welcome back to Rochelle Field. This is your OEB Law Game of the Week. I'm Aaron Harvey, joined by James Gibson. Got a great one on tap for you tonight as Oliver Springs is in town to take on the Coalfield Yellow Jackets. You know, we got a couple big games in Region 2 Class 3A tonight. Gatlinburg-Pickman gets the real measuring stick tonight when it plays Alcoa. You know, GP's had a great season so far, and its accomplishments could very well result in a home playoff berth, but man, oh man. How big would it be for the Highlanders to compete tonight?
Oh, it'd be huge. And GP has been playing some tough defense, Aaron, only allowing an average of 9 points per game. But with that said, I'll still take Alcoa in a landslide victory.
I think a lot of people will take Alcoa as well. If you see the standings there, 7-1 overall for GP. It's been a great season.
Really, really great season.
Yeah.
That's an understatement.
One they're going to talk about for a while. You know, a little bit further down the list, you see Kingston. They've got Pigeon Forge. So you see them right there in the standings. 3-1 is Kingston in the standings. 2-2 is Pigeon Forge record. You know, everything Brian Pankey's team has accomplished to this point could be for naught if the Yellow Jackets drop a couple eggs late. So a win tonight would guarantee extra games. That game is in Sevier County tonight. What are your thoughts on it?
Listen, Sevier County has been playing some spectacular defense. Haven't had 3 shutouts out of the last 4 games they've played. And Kingston has been putting up some decent points this year with Brian Pankey's offense. So this one will be a battle to the end. Let's keep an eye on the score.
The team in Sevier County. You said Sevier County. You meant Pigeon Forge.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Scott High, they're going to be paying attention to that game tonight because the Highlanders have a bye, and they need Kingston to take care of business to keep playoff chances alive. If that happens, Scott and the Tigers will have matching records with a tiebreaker in Week 11 for the final spot. Got to love all the possibilities this late in the year.
Oh, yes. There's a lot of excitement this time of year as teams all across the state are trying to figure out if they are in or if they're out, who their matchups will be. So there's no better time of the year for high school football than right now.
Yeah, you look at that. Look at that right there. Alcoa, Gatlinburg, Pittman, they're in.
Whew,
They've got it figured out. But then Kingston, Pigeon Forge, Scott.
They're battling.
For the final 2 spots. And as great of a year as Kingston has had, if they lose their final 2 games, they could be out of the playoffs.
I know it. Hey, it's been a tough season, and Kingston's done really well so far. Look at that region standing, 3-1 for Kingston. So it's going to come down. Let's see. It'll be interesting watching that and see how it falls for Scott.
I agree with that. So we're going to talk about some of the bigger schools and some playoff implications for them in our viewing area when we get back. We are at Coalfield, and you are tuned in to the OEB Law Game of the Week.
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the hot water wars. A Rinnai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do.
Feel the comforts of home with natural gas. Natural gas tankless water heaters cost almost 3 times less to operate annually than the electric models. Make the switch today.
Rinnai, hot water for all.
You won this year's chili cook-off. Our girls played in the softball finals last spring. You're not just another policyholder to us. We remember your name. Hi, Cheryl.
He remembered my name.
Because it's your name. That's simple human sense.
Ask Griffin Insurance Agency in Kingston if auto owners make sense for you.
Jeff, Mary, Dan, Sarah.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
I'm Ray Varner, and we've got the vehicles you need to make the most of this season.
Whether you're exploring the great outdoors or cheering on your favorite team, let's take your fall to the next level in this new 2020 Ford F-150, $24,990. New 2020 Ford Explorer XLT, $40,986. New 2020 Ford Fusion, $19,698. At Ray Varner Ford in Clinton, we are Ford Truck Country. Come and see us today. Shop RayVarnerFord.com.
As you saw the graphic on your screen, next week we will have a good one in our final broadcast of the season as Oliver Springs takes on Midway, and that could have some pretty significant playoff implications, and a lot of that will depend on what happens tonight at Rochelle Field as we are here for the Coalfield Oliver Springs game. A possible region championship could be determined tonight if Coalfield wins, but if Oliver Springs wins, then they are still in the hunt for that playoff, home playoff game and that region crown. So let's talk about some other games in the region. So in Region 3, Class 5A, we know the 4 teams that are going to make the playoffs. We just don't know the seeds yet, and that's because the 3 of the top 4 teams still have to play. West ran the gauntlet and came out unscathed, so the Rebels will end up with a region championship. Powell, Oak Ridge, and Fulton are all right there in the hunt, vying for that coveted home playoff game. And Oak Ridge is the fulcrum on which this lever rests. The Wildcats have Powell tonight and Fulton next week. All 3 teams have only 1 loss in the region. Coach Gaddis' team has been playing great football as of late, defeating 6A Mount Juliet last week. Big game tonight at Blankenship Field.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's take a look at some averages. Powell is averaging 38 points per game and giving up 22, while Oak Ridge is averaging 29.5 points per game and is only giving up 15 points. So if you go off that, we should have a dang good game tonight in Oak Ridge, but we all know how loaded that Powell roster is. So let's see how Joe Gaddis and his squad respond to the big opportunity ahead of them tonight.
So you see the standings there in front of you as Knox West, Powell, and Oak Ridge. You know, they all did their job. They clinched that playoff berth. So, you know, the scenario for Oak Ridge, if you win tonight, you enjoy the 2 seed in the playoffs. You lose tonight and win next week, you know, take the 3 seed. If you lose both games, take the 4th seed. We'll be keeping an eye on that score tonight for sure. And it says Fulton forfeit of last 2 games due to COVID-19. That's – oh, okay. Well, that changes things.
Wow.
Yeah, that's new information to me. I hadn't heard that yet.
No, me neither.
Wow. Okay.
Good 2020. Things change quick, Aaron.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So let's move on.
Yeah.
A huge game last night in Region 2 5A as Central took down South Doyle 27-19. The Bobcats have a region showdown next week against Gibbs. If they win that one, they're region champs. Lose that one, and South Doyle gets that title.
You know, after that huge loss to Halls, a lot of folks wrote off Central. So what a response from them with a huge win over South Doyle. It just proves that high school football talent in East Tennessee, Knoxville in particular, has really improved over the last 10 years.
Yeah, I agree with that. Switching gears a little bit, Midway, they've had a really spectacular season with Coach Ron Treadway in his 2nd season calling the shots. This Green Wave team has a chance to finish as high as 2nd in the region, but it's not going to be easy as Greenback is making the trip south of the river tonight. The Cherokees have only played 4 football games, okay, and they've lost all of them. But by virtue of COVID forfeits, Greenback's 2-2 in the region. They've not played since September 18th. Whew. Today is, let me look at my watch here for a second. What is today? Today's October 20 something. So, I mean, it's been over a month since Greenback has played a football game. So one would think that they'd be healthy but rusty. And Midway's playing solid football. What do you expect in this one?
Look, 2020 has been hard on us all, but it's been even harder on Greenback High School football. They need a win in a major way tonight, but Midway is playing excellent football right now, so this might get interesting tonight. This is Midway's best chance of breaking an 8-year winning streak for Greenback, so you know Midway is hungry for this one.
All right, so you've heard about that. Before we move any further, we'd like to take a moment to talk about the passing of an important member of our broadcast and our community. On Monday, October 19th, John Harvey passed away. John was always willing to help sponsor anything involving Oliver Springs Bobcats, a man that cared for his community and cared for the people in it. John followed in his father's footsteps as he managed the day-to-day operations of Harvey's Furniture in downtown Oliver Springs. John was a member of the Oliver Springs Police Department and Auxiliary for 41 years, and he was a faithful member of Mount Pisgah Baptist Church. A lifelong resident of Oliver Springs, John was always civic-minded. From Eagle Scout projects to being a member of the Volunteer Fire Department, John was always helping his beloved community. Most of the students from the local school knew Mr. Harvey for his time working security for all the sporting events. In his later years, John was a member of the Roane County 911 E-Board, emergency board, I should say. When his community needed him, he consistently answered the call. BBB TV 12 would like to offer the Harvey family our condolences in the passing of a great man, John Thomas Harvey.
OEB Law is excited to be a part of this year's football season. School spirit is at an all-time high. OEB Law is proud to give back and support our community. Come cheer on these great teams with us. And remember, if you've been injured or need legal help, OEB Law will be there for you. So visit wreckintoacheck.com or give us a call, 865-546-1111, and let OEB Law turn your wreck into a check.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Here is Helen Hammer.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low prices.
Race on down!
And welcome back to your OEB Law Game of the Week. I'm Aaron Harvey, joined by James Gibson. Before we go any further, let's take a look at some of the other games going on in the area tonight. We'll get the rundown. East Hamilton is at Anderson County. That is a 1v2 matchup, so the winner of that game will be the champion of that region, and I think we have a pretty good idea of who's going to win that one. Clinton at Campbell County.
That's an old school rivalry right there.
Yeah, it's got potential to be a pretty good game, too. Palo Oak Ridge, which we talked about, which is huge. Greenback at Midway, we talked about, which is huge. Kingston at Pigeon Forge, which we talked about, which is huge. A lot of really big games.
A lot of big rivalry games right here. Harriman at Oakdale, that's a good one. Wartburg at Sunbride, that's a big rivalry for Morgan County.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen the Harriman-Oakdale game and all, but yeah, Harriman having to forfeit that one, giving Oakdale the win. COVID is.
It's a frustrating thing.
It is very frustrating. But I got to say, man, I'm glad to be here. We've made it through 10 weeks, and there's no reason for me to believe that we won't make it to week 11. And I don't want to talk too soon or anything, but I think that we'll be around next week when Oliver Springs takes on Midway, which could be.
I need to find some wood to knock on real quick.
Yeah, I know,
talking,
man.
Let's change the subject here.
We got a great crowd on hand tonight for this one, and we're looking
72 degrees right now. I mean, this is perfect football weather.
Yeah. Very quickly, let's talk about this matchup. There's so much to be said without even talking about what's on the line. There's a stretch of 5 miles separating these two schools. The connections are seemingly endless. Coalfield's winningest coach, the late Gary Chris, is an Oliver Springs alumnus. There's a bridge on Highway 62 named after Aaron Brady Walls, a student who played at both schools who passed away in a tragic accident. It's a game that hasn't been played as often. It probably should have. Oliver Springs has been back and forth with student populations, which has passed them back and forth between classifications. And the Bobcats own the overall series 35-18. But Coalfield has been closing the gap. winning 7 straight before last season when the Yellow Jackets were shut out 27-0. This is high school football at its best. And to get us ready for that, let's go ahead and take part in our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
So, yeah, it's pretty much official now. We're getting ready to play some football. And you can say that after you hear this national anthem. So, yeah, like I said, you don't really have to talk about what this matchup could mean to understand how big of a game that this is. This is high school football at its best, isn't it?
Oh, yes. Who doesn't like hard hits, big run plays, and tough defense? These two teams will come out tonight, and they will want to punish the other team. This game means a lot to these kids, parents, coaches, and the respective communities. So I expect a big one.
I think Coalfield was expected to take a step back this season, but that didn't happen. Coach Henry's team could finish the season undefeated with a win tonight, but will it? Auburn Springs has looked like a team that was going in the wrong direction, starting the season 0-4. Since then, the Bobcats haven't lost, and really, they've made each win look easy. If you would have told me in September that our Week 10 game could possibly be for a region championship, I wouldn't have believed you, but here we are. Coalfield can seal it with a win. Auburn Springs can keep the ball in their court otherwise. The lights are on. Do you think any of these players will be affected by the moment?
Not at all. We're towards the end of the season, so these players are now experienced and shouldn't be affected by the emotions of the game. In big rivalries such as this, you sometimes see emotions running high with some trash talk and some big hits early on, but normally it settles in the second half.
Yeah, you've got the rivalry, so both teams are playing in the rivalry. So you've got that going for you. There's a lot of pride. This is the area. You've got 5 miles separating the schools. There's a lot there, but also the gravity of the game. You've got a possible championship on the line. If Auburn Springs wins, they can still win the championship. If Coalfield wins, they got it. So a lot to be played for tonight. So I got to ask you, what are the keys for both of these teams?
Well, for Auburn Springs, they have got to limit the big plays at Coalfield. I'm expecting Coalfield to try to have several big explosive plays, dumping it off in the flats, doing different things of that nature. So for Coalfield, they have got to control time of possession, really enforce that run game and get downhill. And for Coalfield defensively, they got to stop the run. Auburn Springs is going to come out and pound the football. And win field position for Coalfield, and we're going to have a good game.
We will have a good game indeed. It's going to be exciting. I'd like to, again, remind you, you are tuned in to your OEB Law Game of the Week. OEB's got a terrific team of lawyers, paralegals, legal assistants, and support staff that knows the effect a car wreck or injury can have on a person. Their team works extremely hard to help resolve their claims so they can move forward from a tragic incident and focus on rebuilding and recovering their life with a full and fair compensation, whether it is through a settlement or a lawsuit. Go to wreckintoacheck.com or call 865-546-1111 to see what OEB Law can do for you. We're going to have the coin toss and more coming up when we get back. This is the OEB Law Game of the Week.
Oh, this is...
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the hot water wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do.
Feel the comforts of home with natural gas. Natural gas tankless water heaters cost almost 3 times less to operate annually than the electric models. Make the switch today.
Renai, hot water for all.
You won this year's chili cook-off. Our girls played in the softball finals last spring. You're not just another policyholder to us. We remember your name. Hi, Cheryl.
He remembered my name.
Because it's your name. That's simple human sense.
Ask Griffin Insurance Agency in Kingston if auto owners make sense for you.
Jeff, Mary, Dan, Sarah.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
Hi, I'm Ray Varner, and we've got the vehicles you need to make the most of this season.
Whether you're exploring the great outdoors or cheering on your favorite team, let's take your fall to the next level in this new 2020 Ford F-150, $24,990. New 2020 Ford Explorer XLT, $40,986. New 2020 Ford Fusion, $19,698. At Ray Varner Ford in Clinton, we are Ford Truck Country. Come and see us today. Shop RayVarnerFord.com.
We are officially under 2 minutes away from kickoff here at Rochelle Field. It's Coalfield. It's Oliver Springs. Hardware possibly on the line tonight. Can't stress the importance of this matchup enough. Coalfield wins the toss. They decide to receive.
Kicking off for the Bobcats, number 35.
What do you think the mindset was between receiving that kickoff?
Want to be aggressive on offense, and Coalfield likes some of their mismatches offensively with Oliver Springs defense. So let's see if they try to exploit that early.
As we get set for our Davis Funeral Home kickoff, for Oliver Springs, it's Ty Lamance. Davis Funeral Home with 2 locations in Wartburg and Harriman. And the ball has fallen off the tee. No, he's not going to use the tee. And that is picked up at the 40 and carried a couple of yards. And so Coalfield starts this thing off with really good field position. It's A.J. Henry with the short return.
Interesting choice by the Oliver Springs coaching staff to do a little short kick on the opening kickoff. Pretty good field position for Coalfield.
Yeah, so Coalfield has the Hammers 1st and 10 at the Yellow Jacket 44-yard line.
And look, it's their favorite formation there.
There you go. Cole Hines at under center, hands off to his tailback, and moving forward for about 3 yards. is Seth Lau, and actually, that's not Seth Lau, surprisingly. It looks like Isaac McKinney. So this is a T formation. It's not a wing T, it's a T formation. And here is, with his first carry of the game, Landon Lau.
And that play there emphasizes exactly what the T formation really is. It is a pound the football type of offense. I believe was first ran in 1940, I believe we ran.
Yeah,
by the Washington Redskins. I believe they, in the Super Bowl came out, started running this, and scored like 70-something points.
Yeah, in a shutout.
So it's an old-school offense, but, man, it's deadly.
So 3rd and inches, and Hines is going to keep it on a quarterback sneak, and he'll have enough for the first down. And Coalfield keeps the sticks, or gets the sticks moving early in this game.
Coalfield got the first down, but I liked what I saw at Oliver Springs. They made them work for that first down, as you see on the replay here. Look at the big defensive line, really holding in tight, drive the Coalfield offensive lineman backwards.
Quarterback for the Yellow Jackets, number 3, Cole Hines.
He found a good hole.
Yep. All right, Hammers 1st and 10. At the Oliver Springs 45-yard line. Hines under center again, handoff. This is Lau's first carry of the game, going over the left side. He's tackled from behind. Coming from that defensive end position, the leading tackler on this Oliver Springs team, Brandon Nation.
Yeah, he really comes off the edge fast. He's got a special twitch to him. You see him there, he sees the O open up, and he takes off. And normally you ain't going to see a linebacker run down a running back like that from that type of situation there. So that just kind of tells you the type of play you're dealing with there, number 8 for Oliver Springs.
Yeah, a loss of 1 brings up 2nd and 11.
You see that there, that is a college-type play. You see a high school senior, a high school football player making that play, that's something you need to pay attention to.
Again, that T formation. Hines under center, drops back like he's going to pass, and he's sacked. Getting in the backfield was Jacob Heilman, the 2nd leading tackler on this team.
They're eating it up right now. That was a broke play. He dropped back for a pass. Nobody else seemed to know that was a pass. His wide receiver definitely didn't. So Oliver Springs made it pay.
A loss of 7 makes it 3rd and 18. Ball spotted back in Yellow Jacket territory at the 47.
3rd and forever. Oliver Springs coming out, 3 wide receivers.
Coalfield. Shotgun formation this time for Hines. 3-step drop. Gets it out to his running back, Lau. Lau crosses midfield, but not much more there.
What a great job by the Oliver Springs defenders, really rallying to the football there and containing Lau. That's a really good job by the defense.
Pickup of 5 will bring up 4th and 13, and Coalfield will send its punting unit into the game. Now, Coalfield's punter is Landon Lau, who is also one of the ball carriers normally for the Coalfield offense. So you want to keep an eye on that. And this is an interesting punt formation.
It is peculiar.
And Lau will do a rugby-style left-footed kick. It's end over end, lands at the 22-yard line, takes an Oliver Springs bounce before it's down at the 20 by Levi Mullins, and that's where Oliver Springs will take over for its first possession of this football game with a Hammers 1st and 10.
I'm excited to see what this Oliver Springs offensive philosophy is going to be this week. Are they going to deviate a little bit, or are they just going to smash mouth football, what they know works?
We know they are riding on their sophomore quarterback, Zach Elliott. And they'll be handing the ball off a lot to Gavin Hill. And first carry of the game, that goes to Brandon Nation. And Nation is stopped right at the line of scrimmage for no gain. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Brandon Nation, the ball carrier.
A little bit of a late stem by the Coalfield defensive lineman. Looked like it had a potential effect on the offensive line of Oliver Springs.
Yeah, you get a good look at that on our attorney Matt Tuck replay.
movement like that, late movement with the defensive line, is very frustrating for the offensive lineman.
Elliott has a man in motion, drops the ball, has to pick it up, run up the middle. Able to get a couple yards, but that's it. It's going to be 3rd and 8. I believe they were intending on running the jet sweep there.
Yeah, and Coalfield's come out defensively, and it looks like they're kind of floating with a man press, man coverage. And they're just saying, hey, we dare you throw the football. We're expecting you to come running that football, and we're here to stop it.
So we'll see what Oliver Springs does on this 3rd and long.
Ball on their own 27.
Interesting. Watch for rollout or crossing routes.
Yeah, 4 bunched up, but actually on a keeper and getting up to the 30 is Kane Googe.
Elliott keeps. Met first by number 1, Landon Lau. Also in on the tackle, number 5, Seth Lau.
And he's going to be 5 yards short of the first down. And I have to apologize. That's actually Zach Elliott.
4th down.
Now let's see what type of field position Coalfield can get here.
High snap. It is controlled. That punt is away. Decent punt. Good hang time. Takes a great bounce.
Good.
And downed at the 30-yard line. And
that's going to be a learning experience for that young football player in film session. He touched the ball a little too early. Let it roll. Let it roll.
Yeah, there wasn't a Coalfield player near it. Look at this Matt Tuck replay.
Good punt.
And you'll see what my guy James Gibson is talking about. Get it right there. Nobody near it. You pick it up.
Yeah.
Why pick it up? That ball could have gone another 5 or 10 yards.
I guarantee you Coach Green is going to have a good teaching experience on film study with him.
So it's Hammers 1st and 10, ball spotted right across the 30-yard line for Coalfield, and they've come out of that T formation. Instead, they've got 2 wideouts either side. Seth Lau in the backfield for Hines. Hines on a quarterback keeper. He's got Lau as a lead blocker, picks up to the 40-yard line. A good pickup of 9 yards will bring up 2nd and short. Design quarterback draw.
Yep. Oliver Springs coming with a 3-man front. Don't look like they sent any pressure. Quarterback stepped up in the pocket, seen a big hole. Picked up a big gain. You see here running right behind the fullback and the right guard. Good move.
And it looked like Lau missed a block there. Could have sprung Elliott a little bit further. So it's 2nd and less than a yard for Coalfield. 2 wideouts either side again, the same formation. And Hines is going to hand off on a counter to Lau. Lau trying to find some running room. Gets up to about the 43 before he's stopped. But it will be enough for a Hammers 1st and 10.
Tackle by Brandon Nation.
Coalfield's offensive line does a really nice job of pulling and getting upfield. If you see the right tackle there, big number 55 for Coalfield, Braden Burgess, does a really good job of getting upfield and getting his hands on some hats.
So Coalfield, about where they started their last drive with a 1st and 10. Same formation, shotgun for Hines.
Cover 3 for Oliver Springs.
Hines fakes the handoff to Lau. He's going to keep it, and he's brought down in the backfield.
And who else?
Hines keeps. Stopped by Nation.
Nation.
Again.
Brandon Nation.
He has really good instincts at the linebacker position. He sees, he does a really good job reading the guards, through the guards to the running back, and he really has a quick niche from the linebacker position, as you see here.
Yeah, he's coming from that middle linebacker
He closes
spot.
so fast.
Yeah. Thank you, Matt Tuck, attorney, for providing that replay. Hines again, 2nd and 11. Drops back to pass. He's going to let it go wide, and that pass ball is incomplete. Trying to hit Lau. Landon Lau, that is. Will bring up 3rd and 11.
No harm, no foul there if you're Coalfield. He was covered. Quarterback kind of noticed it, threw it a little high to where only his wide receiver could have a play on the ball.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You don't want to force something there in 2nd and long.
Yeah, because Gage Mullins was right there playing that.
And that's well, if you watch Tennessee versus Kentucky, that's about the same type of play that they intercepted for 6.
Yeah, 3 wide to the right this time for Hines. Hines, 3-step drop, looks over the middle. He's got a man there, and the pass is incomplete. Very close, trying to hit Levi Mullins.
Jacob Hillman coming in huge for Auburn Springs, as was Dakota Atkins. Two dandy defensive backs for the Auburn Springs Bobcats.
So Landon Lau is getting back in punt formation again for Coalfield. Back deep to receive for the Bobcats is Tyler Bridges.
Now this is very frustrating. This is a frustrating formation for Auburn Springs. You have got to honor the punt.
And it's a wobbly spiral that flies into the Auburn Springs fans.
Didn't really work out there, but that is a frustrating formation as you got to honor the punter as you're starting running back.
Wow, they're going to say this one out of bounds at midfield, so that is about a 6-yard punt.
Big opportunity for Auburn Springs. Good field position.
Yeah, look at this replay.
Just kind of kicked it a little too far out of bounds.
Yeah, it's hard to see right there where the ball went out of bounds, but I'd say that that's probably pretty close.
Yep. So you're going to get a big dose of nation right here.
Zach Elliott out of the shotgun formation. Handoff goes up the middle. Breaking into that secondary is
what
Gavin
a
Hill.
Run. Never stopped his feet, continued moving forward. Really good play by the running back.
So Gavin Hill is averaging about 91 yards a game this season. And you can see why. That's his first carry of this game so far, though. So
it won't be his last.
It won't. We'll see him a lot tonight. Hammers 1st and 10. Ball spotted at the Yellow Jacket 36-yard line. Shotgun formation, and here's Brandon Nation. Nation breaks into the secondary, and he's down at about the 28-yard line. Good pickup on first down.
Really was, and Auburn Springs has a really good 1-2 punch with these running backs, and it's really frustrating for the Coalfield defense. You see here on the replay, the Coalfield defensive line got upfield, but unfortunately a missed tackle. Nation was able to pick up some additional yards after the missed tackle.
Pickup of 8 makes a 2nd and 2. Auburn Springs walks to the line. Same formation, 2 backs in the backfield. Elliott takes a snap, and a quarterback keeper all the way. Elliott gets the yard to gain for the Hammers 1st and 10 and a little bit more.
Big push by the Auburn Springs offensive line. Big number 52 there laying on one of them. I'll tell you, look at this push by this offensive line. They're 5 yards pushing them off the line of scrimmage there, and that's why he was able to pick up the yardage he was able to.
Hammers 1st and 10. Ball is spotted at the 22-yard line. And a little bit of a misdirection play as Hill gets it, crosses the 20 down to about the 18-yard line. A pickup of 4 will bring up 2nd and 6. When you give the ball to both of your carriers and they both have success, you can do things like that.
Oh, you definitely can, but also it really opens up that throw game. So later on in this game, you might see some play action, some 50-50 ball opportunities. And here's this formation again that we've seen the quarterback run.
Yeah, tight bunch of 4 wideouts to the left side. Handoff goes to Nation. Nation breaks free. Gets down to the 5 before he's cut down at about the 4-yard line. Finally getting him was Connor Johnson.
And good secondary play out of that formation. What you do, you overload that left side, get Coalfield numbers over there. They seen the play before, so I'm sure they slid to that side. And then you run the ball to the weak side. You've got numbers on that side. Excellent play call.
So Auburn Springs is set up with a Hammers 1st and goal at the 4-yard line.
Running back on the right side.
And with the keeper is Elliott. Elliott dives.
He's close.
Right now they're going to mark him down. And there's a fumble.
Wow, what a break for Coalfield.
At the goal line. You're talking the inch line. Huge play.
What an opportunity for Coalfield.
Look at this Matt Tuck replay. Let's see if we can see it. It's hard to tell right there when that ball started coming out.
He's still driving forward.
It looked like he had
the ball's out. The ball's out. Coalfield is recovering right there.
Okay. Yeah, there it is. Good eyes. I think Elliott thought he even still had it. All right, so here is Coalfield backed all the way up to the goal line. Hines under center, handoff, and with a little bit of running room is Lau. Spin move, gets up past the 10 before he bulldozes somebody.
Interesting play call there by Oliver Springs. Got Coalfield backed up on the inch line there, and you come out with 3 defensive linemen.
Watch how Lau finished this play. You got the finesse, but then you got the bam.
Yeah, he was able to get upfield because the Coalfield offensive lineman was able to get upfield and block the talented Oliver Springs linebackers. Why? Because Oliver Springs came out with a 3-man front.
That's almost a 10-yard gain, but it's not. It's 2nd and inches. Hines under center again. Looks like the same formation. Handoff. Goes up the middle, there's the ball's on the ground again.
Oliver Springs football.
And Oliver Springs recovers.
Don't you love rivalries?
Wow.
Hey, we've got a football game right here.
Yeah, we do.
Look at these sidelines. Everybody's into it, guys.
So let's look at this attorney Matt Tuck replay, see what happens. The ball is just stripped by a lineman. It's Landon Lau with the carry.
1st and 10 Bobcats, ball on the 15.
Great play right there.
Matthew Johnson, big defensive lineman coming in huge, stripping the football, 5'9", 246-pound senior for Oliver Springs.
Bunch formation. It's Elliott on the keeper. Tries to get out wide, cuts it back inside, gets inside the 10-yard line before he's tackled. A great pickup of about 7 yards right there. We'll bring up 2nd and about 3.
And what a good little tackle here by Seth Lau. Watch number 5 on the screen. Did a pretty good job there.
And that will take us to the end of the first quarter. This one's moving quickly, but we've got a great one on our hands as Oliver Springs and Coalfield are tied, but the Bobcats are threatening in your OEB Law Game of the Week.
A part of this year's football season, school spirit is at an all-time high. OEB Law is proud to give back and support our community. Come cheer on these great teams with us. And remember, if you've been injured or need legal help, OEB Law will be there for you. So visit wreckintoacheck.com or give us a call, 865-546-1111, and let OEB Law turn your wreck into a check.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
The Harriman Utility.
So switching the sides of the field to start the second quarter, Oliver Springs will have a 2nd and 4 inside the Coalfield 10-yard line. If you are just joining us, Oliver Springs fumbled at the 1-yard line. Coalfield got the ball back, kept the Bobcats from scoring, but then fumbled outside the 10-yard line. And here is Oliver Springs trying to get this one into the end zone. Elliott, the quarterback, handoff, goes inside to Hill. No, that's to Brandon Nation. Gets to about the 5 before he is stopped short.
Another big push by the Oliver Springs offensive line, as you see on the replay here. Big hole, easy running for the Oliver Springs running backs.
You've got a 3rd and inches right here for Oliver Springs in 4-down territory. And this time a 1-back set. Line loaded to the left. It's a keeper by Elliott. Elliott gets inside the 5-yard line and will have a Hammers 1st and goal. They're going to give him the 3-yard line.
Pretty good defense there by Coalfield to stop them right there. They had numbers. Coalfield playing pretty tough defense. Oliver Springs' offensive line has been winning so far.
And another keeper by Elliott. And Elliott is pounded down, hit by Isaac McKinney.
Elliott keeps.
He came in fast and with purpose. Really good job there by McKinney.
And if you remember, it was Elliott who fumbled at the goal line last Oliver Springs possession. So Coach Larry Green showing confidence in his quarterback to allow him to keep running it this deep into the red zone.
They've been running behind big Evan Martin, 6'3", 335-pound junior there. Let's see which way they go here.
Here's Elliott, Hill, and Nation in the backfield. Nation gets the carry, and he is stopped right around the line of scrimmage. Third down, Oliver Springs.
Really good job there by Lau filling the hole and making a secure tackle. Coalfield defensive line that time stood strong. They kept their pad level low, center of gravity was low, and they won the battle there.
Yeah, Oliver Springs has had a first and goal and haven't gained a yard.
And Coalfield is playing tough right here. Let's see what Oliver Springs does here.
Elliott takes a snap, fakes the option, and is bent backwards. Maybe gets a yard there. It's going to be fourth down.
Net first by number 19, Hayden Hicks.
Looks like Oliver Springs is going to attempt a kick.
Look on this attorney Matt Tuck replay. Fakes the option and then gets leveled.
Hayden Hicks coming in with a big tackle.
So Oliver Springs is going to talk about it and try to figure out what they want to do on this fourth down. We'll see what happens when we get back.
Service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Rochelle Field. I'm Aaron Harvey, joined by James Gibson. We've got a great one as
look at that screen real quick. Look at that screen. I want you to understand that Oliver Springs has around 8 players over 250 pounds. So you're talking some big guys for this side, these two teams here. Oliver Springs is very big.
Yeah, I got held up for a second because I heard the public address announcer for Coalfield, Greg Addington, say that Greenback is up on Midway 7-0. So there's a scoring update for you. Here is Elliott on fourth down. Handoff goes to Hill. Hill trying to get to the corner, dives for the end zone. He's in. Touchdown, Oliver Springs.
Number 2, Devin Hill carries for the Oliver Springs.
First touchdown of the game. Easy play for the Oliver Springs Bobcats.
Yeah, they had to make it pretty dramatic, though, didn't they?
They did. They stretched that all the way out. Good job.
Fourth down, handoff goes to
Hill. Hill knew the line to get and dives across that goal line.
And Cole Hines made him work for that. That's what you want to see.
So Jacob Heilman is on to attempt the point after for Oliver Springs. And it is up, and it is true. So Oliver Springs leads with 8:54 left to go in the first half. Your score is Bobcats 7, Yellow Jackets nothing.
Here is Helen.
Mr. Walker. A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low prices.
Race on down!
At Rochelle Field, Oliver Springs punches it in, and now the Bobcats lead 7-0 over the Yellow Jackets with 8:54 left to go in the first half as we prepare for the Davis Funeral Home kickoff for Oliver Springs. It is Ty Lamance back deep to receive for Coalfield. Looks to be actually Oliver Springs or Coalfield's not going to send anybody deep because they don't expect this kickoff to go deep. And it doesn't go deep. Off the side of a foot and picked up and caught by Zach Armstrong. Heads up play by Armstrong. That ball kind of went nowhere.
Yeah. And, I want to talk about the play, the scoring play. It was a very close call, very close. Cole Hines was right there to challenge him, getting into the end zone. And before the kickoff, the Coalfield coaches were definitely giving a strong education lesson to that Coalfield defense. That's what it takes to win.
So a Hammers 1st and 10, ball spotted at the Yellow Jacket 44-yard line as here is Landon Lau on the carry. Gets across the 45 before he's brought down. We'll give him a yard.
Tough running right there to pick up anything, to be honest with you.
We'll give him 2 yards. 2nd and 8.
Big number 54, Brady Jackson, in there at the nose guard position, all 281 pounds of him.
You saw that scoring drive summary just pop up. 7 plays, 15 yards for Oliver Springs. Here's a handoff. This one goes to the big guy, Seth Lau. Lau drives forward, gets across midfield before he's brought down about the 49. Will bring up 3rd and short.
And falling forward for some tough yardage there.
Tackled by number 4, Jacob Heilman.
And Coalfield got a pretty good push there, drove the defensive lineman for Oliver Springs off the ball.
Now, I got to ask you, Coalfield's played 5 games this year. Oliver Springs has played 8. How's football conditioning right now for both of these teams?
Oh, I'm sure the Coalfield coaches have them, Coalfield, totally in shape for this game.
Hard count, T set. It is Landon Lau driving forward, breaking a tackle, and getting the Hammers 1st and 10 into Oliver Springs territory down to the 40-yard line.
But Coalfield will be the healthier team, as Oliver Springs has had to travel to William Blount and some pretty tough games.
Yeah, Landon Lau broke a tackle from big lineman Austin Bridges. You can see that on that Matt Tuck replay. As you see, this is what the Coalfield schedules look like this year.
Oh, that's brutal. That game they took on to go over there and play the William Blounts and folks that they have, it's impressive.
Dropping back to pass is Hines. Hines lets it fly. He's got a man downfield, and it is broken up. Pass ball's incomplete. Back there in coverage for Oliver Springs and recovering is Tyler Bridges.
And Kane Googe coming in big.
There's a flag on the play, however, and I can't tell you what that's in the area of.
Really good job by the Oliver Springs defensive backs to make up some ground there.
All right, I believe that's an ineligible receiver downfield on Coalfield, and that's a 5-yard penalty.
And see on the replay, he had plenty of time, step up in the pocket and release.
5 yards, ineligible receiver downfield.
Yeah, so he had a guy there for a moment.
1st and 15, Yellow Jackets, ball on the Oliver Springs 45.
Good play call, though, trying to get some those defensive backs to honor the pass a little bit, back up a little bit more. Let's see if it opens up any running game for them.
Ball spotted at the 45-yard line. A Hammers 1st and 15. Hines coming out in that T formation under center. Fakes the handoff, and now he's going to go the other direction. Has some open field and is brought down at the 35-yard line. That's a good response. 10-yard gain for the quarterback.
Oh, yeah, and I love it. This is old school football right here, guys. This is what I love to see on Friday nights. The OT formation. 1940 is when it made its debut, and Coalfield takes a lot of pride in running this formation because it takes toughness. It takes hard-running running backs, and it takes some really mean offensive linemen.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It takes some big uglies.
It does. You got to have low shoulder pad height there to really get some low blocks.
2nd and 5, that T formation again. Hines under center, one wide out to the left. And handoff goes to Lau. Lau trying to find the left side and puts his head down and goes forward, driven out of bounds. He will have enough for the Hammers 1st and 10.
Nothing there in the middle. He bounced it outside, picked up a pretty good gain.
Yeah, look at this attorney Matt Tuck replay. Watch Lau. He punishes defenders.
Yeah, that's what you want to see. That's what you want to see in a running back is make those defenders pay, because I promise you later on that game they're going to remember that last time you hit them. And if it was soft or hard, it's going to make a big difference in how they tackle you.
Ball's at the 29-yard line of Hammers, 1st and 10. And now an offset eye for Coalfield. Hines pitches it out to Lau. That's Landon Lau. And Lau gets to the outside, gets enough for the first down, is tripped up. He'll have a pickup of 12 or 13. The sticks move again. It will be a Hammers 1st and 10.
Really good pickup there, and some really good blocking by Lau here again to adjust himself to let that defender go. He knew he was no threat. Go on to the next.
Ball on the 17.
Good pickup by Coalfield.
Offset eye again, tied into the left, and whistles are blown. We've got a timeout. Oliver Springs. So Coach Larry Green sees his team getting driven on down the field, wants to give his players a blow and talk about it in your OEB Law Game of the Week.
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the Hot Water Wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do.
Feel the comforts of home with natural gas. Natural gas tankless water heaters cost almost 3 times less to operate annually than the electric models. Make the switch today.
Renai, hot water for all.
Back at Rochelle Field, trying to get you some scores of interest. Anderson County leads over East Hamilton 20-0. Farragut is up on Hardin Valley 14-0. Meigs County leads over Polk County 7-0.
Second quarter, Greenback 13, Midway nothing.
And you hear Greg Addington say Greenback up on Midway 13-0.
That's big for Greenback.
It is.
It's been a tough year for Greenback, so see them up on Midway early. That's big news for Greenback.
Oak Ridge up on Powell in the second quarter, 14-0.
Keep an eye on that one.
Coach Gaddis' team is playing really good football right now. All right, Coalfield again, offset eye, fullback to the left, and that's where the ball is pitched. It's Lau, Seth Lau, trying to get to the outside, puts his head down, gets down to about the 10-yard line, and he's going to be marked short of the first down after a pickup of about 6.
Big run, but I want to talk about the blocking of Isaac McKinney, the senior. Watch this play here by number 10 out here, if we can pick it up.
2nd and 4, Yellow Jackets, ball on the 11.
He blocks 2 defenders on the play there. It's a really good job.
Ball spotted at the 11. It's going to be 2nd and 4. As Coalfield has entered the red zone.
And Oliver Springs does not come out of that 3-man front.
Here is Landon Lau. He's going to be stacked up around the line of scrimmage. He's not breaking a tackle this time, but he sure tried.
Yeah, he gave it his all, that's for sure, but the Oliver Springs defense wasn't having it. They're sending those linebackers.
Slippery. Watch this Matt Tuck replay. 1 guy, 2 guy, 3 guy, 4, 5 guy, 6 guy, 7 guy, more.
Multiple attempts by the same guy, which is impressive in itself, I tell you.
Yeah.
5, Yellow Jackets,
You know, if it takes 8 players to tackle you, you're doing pretty well.
That, and it will take a toll in the second half.
Yeah, he did, however, lose a couple yards. It's 3rd and 5 in definite 4-down territory. And back in that T formation, Hines fakes the handoff, finds his back out of the backfield. That's Landon Lau, gets up around the goal line. That's enough for a Hammers 1st and goal, but there's a flag on the play. And there's an Oliver Springs player without his helmet on.
You got a Coalfield player without his helmet as well. Potentially hands to the face either way. Or a face mask. Or a.
Mr. White Hat, tell us. Got holding on Coalfield. That is unfortunate. They run this little fake, and they've got 2 lead blockers for Seth Lau. The first lead blocker, Landon Lau, goes out for a pass, and he was open. That was the right play call. But unfortunately for Coalfield, after the hold, they're penalized 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Ball is spotted at the 20. So instead of a 1st and goal at the 1 or 2, it's going to be 3rd and a long 12, short 13. And now Hines comes out in an empty set, shotgun formation, 3 wide receivers to his left.
What for QB draw?
Nope, Hines tries to run a wide receiver screen and hit Landon Lau, and Lau cannot catch the pass, so it's going to be 4th and 13. As you see on this attorney Matt Tuck
play
replay.
Call. As you see the offensive lineman upfield ready to lay a block, that's a big play.
Oh, you know, if Lau catches that, he had the blockers in front of him.
He's looking at potential pay dirt there.
So it is instead 4th and that long 12. And Coalfield obviously in scoring position, or I'm sorry, in 4-down territory. But, you know, if you lose this football game, this is one you're really going to look at on film.
Yep.
And 13 from the 20.
Penalties and inopportune moments will cost you ball games.
And Hines is going to take a timeout. He didn't like what he saw, and I think what he saw that he didn't like was the play clock running down. So with 4:21 left to go, we'll have a 4th and 12 when we get back at your OEB Law Game of the Week.
You won this year's chili cook-off. Our girls played in the softball finals last spring. You're not just another policyholder to us. We remember your name. Hi, Cheryl.
He remembered my name.
Because it's your name. That's simple human sense.
Ask Griffin Insurance Agency in Kingston if auto owners make sense for you.
Jeff, Mary, Dan, Sarah.
Back at your OEB Law Game of the Week, Aaron Harvey, James Gibson. We are deep into the second quarter. Now, Coalfield won the toss, elected to receive. So, Oliver Springs will get the ball to start the second half. And if Coalfield does not convert here, Oliver Springs will have plenty of time to try to put points on the board before halftime.
Yeah, we're definitely in a defensive battle right here. So this is a big 4th down for Coalfield. Looks like they're coming back out in that empty formation.
Hines, 3 wideouts to his left.
He's going to have room to run.
And we've got flags on the play.
There's a marker on the play.
It's right around the line, Judge. I believe we're going to have a false start here. No, it's an encroachment penalty, which is huge. That gets Coalfield 5 yards closer. So, you're still going to have about a 4th and 8.
5 yards, dead ball,
but
encroachment.
4th and 8 is a lot better than 4th and 13.
Yes, it's a little more manageable, and you probably ain't going to even see a change in the play right here.
For the Yellow Jackets, ball on the 15.
Oliver Springs really backed up those linebackers the play before. Let's see what they do here.
And again, Hines comes out, empty set, 3 wideouts to his left. High snap. Hines is going to keep it. He's got some running room. Gets to the 5, down to about the 3-yard line. That is a Hammers 1st and 10.
J.K. Hyman coming in big, making a big stop there, keeping him out of the end zone.
And again, that 4th and 8 is a lot easier than that 4th and 13.
Of course.
Although I will say this, I think that was the play that they were going to run on 4th and 13. Too.
Yeah, it was. And I think he improvised a little bit there.
From the 3.
All right.
Formation.
Handoff. Landon Lau trips.
Landon Lau carries.
But he gets in. Touchdown, Coalfield.
3 yards.
6 points on the board, 3:43 left to go in this first half. And now, Coalfield's going to go for 2. Why that's important is Oliver Springs got the extra point. So if Coalfield gets this, they're up by 1. That can be really important later in this game. Coalfield doesn't get it. Oliver Springs is up 1, and that could be really important later in this game. As you saw in the Matt Tuck replay, Lau knew where he had to get and go.
Huge 2-point conversion here, guys.
So here is the sophomore Cole Hines under center. Fakes the option and walks across the goal line. That is 2 points. Coalfield steals the lead with 3:43 left to go in this first half. Jackets on top.
I'm Ray Varner, and we've got the vehicles you need to make the most of this season.
Whether you're exploring the great outdoors or cheering on your favorite team, let's take your fall to the next level in this new 2020 Ford F-150, $24,990. New 2020 Ford Explorer XLT, $40,986. New 2020 Ford Fusion, $19,698. At Ray Varner Ford in Clinton, we are Ford Truck Country. Come and see us today. Shop RayVarnerFord.com.
Rochelle Field is the setting for tonight's game. If you're just joining us, Coalfield drives it down the field, gets the two-point conversion. The Yellow Jackets now lead 8-7 with 3:43 left to go in this game. Drive summary, 11 plays, 66 yards, took 5 minutes and 11 seconds off of the clock. Had to convert a big 4th and 13. Got a 5-yard penalty, so then had to convert a 4th and 8 on that drive to keep it alive. As we get set for our Davis Funeral Home kickoff, Davis Funeral Home with 2 locations in Wartburg and Harriman. Go to davisfuneralhomes.com for more information. And a high spinner is going to land and picked up by Hill. Hill gets across the 25 and is stopped shy of the 30. Hill was backpedaling and slipped. That ball hits the ground, takes a great bounce for him because, they say it all the time, that ball is shaped kind of funny. So if that ball bounces kind of strange, but look at this attorney Matt Tuck replay. I believe you'll be able to see it. Yeah, Hill comes up, tries to stop, slips, and the ball, thankfully for him, bounces right back into his hands. So we've got a Hammers 1st and 10, ball spotted at about the 31-yard line.
21 personnel for Oliver Springs.
Handoff goes to Hill, and he goes over left tackle. He's got a lot of running room. A flag comes in, and Hill's tackled at the 47-yard line.
What a move over there he put on one of the Coalfield defenders. That's that classic R1 button.
Yeah, that is a holding call, so it's coming back. But, yeah, look at this Matt Tuck replay.
He threw the brakes on in a hurry, guys. That's impressive.
So that's 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
10 yards holding.
Big penalty.
It is a big penalty. Ball spotted about just across the 20-yard line. So we'll call it 1st and 21. Brought to you by Hammers, and Oliver Springs got hammered with that penalty.
Watch for the quarterback rollout or a handoff on the backside right here.
Here's a snap, a reverse, and finding no running room for Oliver Springs is Bridges. That play didn't work at all. And no gain on the play. We'll bring up 2nd and 21.
Coalfield defender stayed home. Linebackers recognized early. That's playing disciplined football.
Senior Seth Lau set the edge over there.
And Coalfield has seen this on film.
Elliott is going to let it go. He's got a man flying downfield wide open. And pass interference. As trying to run him down was Connor Johnson. Johnson knew that he was running free on a jailbreak, and Johnson didn't play the ball and just ran into him, which honestly might have saved a touchdown.
Yeah, his coach ain't going to be mad at him too long for that one.
Yeah, because
you'd rather give up a penalty than a touchdown.
Yeah, that pass interference happened around the 45-yard line of Coalfield. And so let's watch this Matt Tuck replay. Lets it fly.
Coalfield penalized 15 yards, defensive pass interference.
Now, it was inside the 45. So after this 15-yard penalty, the ball is going to actually be spotted at the 36 of Oliver Springs as opposed to about the 42 of Coalfield. Not a bad pass interference play, and it's still 2nd and about 5 after the 15-yard penalty.
Oliver Springs loving this formation. Let's see how many plays they have out of it.
And just a little crossbuck play. And I believe that's Gavin Hill. Gets up to the 40-yard line before he's driven down. And a good gain on second down will bring up 3rd and 1. Big third down right here as we move inside 2 minutes to play in the half.
The Coalfield defensive line has got to really stay low here, keep their shoulder pads low to the ground, because I would anticipate Olive Springs running right at you.
Zach Elliott in the backfield with Nation. And that's where the ball goes. Nation puts his head down. And
he's still moving forward.
Now the ball came free, but they're going to say he was down, but not before he gets the Hammers 1st and 10 with 1:23 left to go in this first half. So the clock is moving. As we look at Nation, Nation just kept those legs going.
Running behind big number 52, Jordan Gilman, 6 foot, 316 pounds.
Now, again, Oliver Springs has 2 timeouts. I'm sorry, has 1 timeout, but there's only a minute left to go in this first half.
They got a blocker out wide here.
Fakes the jet sweep, does Elliott. Elliott looks, gets rid of the football. It's caught up to the 35-yard line of Coalfield, and with the catch is Tyler Mance. Boy, Tyler Mance is big.
Yeah, he is.
6'3". And we've got 40 seconds left to play in this half. A Hammers 1st and 10, and Oliver Springs not showing a lot of urgency right now.
I'll tell you, big number 35 shows some pretty good hands there, and that backs up those Coalfield defenders.
All right, 3 wideouts to the left. Elliott in the backfield with Nation. Elliott takes a shotgun snap, looking. Now pulls it and is under pressure, tucks it, runs, gains about 3 yards before he's brought down, and now we're under 20 seconds to play, and Oliver Springs will use its final timeout of the half with 16.3 seconds left. So Oliver Springs wants to stop the clock, but now with just 16 seconds left, you're a little bit limited in what you can do. I'd like to take this opportunity to tell you about OEB Law, and that's their clients are essential to them, so while businesses were shutting down because of COVID, OEB Law took the necessary precautions in order to safely remain open and available to their clients and community. They social distanced themselves while in and around the office. They used hand sanitizer dispensers stationed at doorways. Face masks were handmade by Tim Elrod's mother. They utilized Facebook Live to let the community know that they were here for them. That is OEB Law. Go to reckontoacheck.com for more information. So, 16 seconds left. You are on the 42, 43-yard line. I don't know. What do you do here? Do you try to pick up 15 yards and take a shot at the end zone? Or?
Well, I'll tell you, I would like to see the aggressiveness out of it. You know, this is a big game. This is a big rival game. Let's try to make a statement with these last 16 seconds. Let's go into halftime with some momentum. Aggressive play call.
Loaded to the left. Elliott's going to roll that way, and he's under immense pressure. Has to tuck it, and he's going to be downed across the 40. He can't get out of bounds. Oliver Springs can't stop the clock, and Coalfield will go into halftime with the lead 8-7 in a classic hat-on-hat showdown. And Oliver Springs will get the ball when we start the second half. It has been a great half of football so far.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we expected that early on. You see here coming off the edge with pressure. Eludes him. Takes off running and gets tackled in bounds.
Yeah,
runs out.
That was Kanan Bowling providing the pressure for Coalfield. I have enjoyed this first half, but something tells me I'm going to enjoy the second half even more. We've got a lot of stuff that we can talk about in halftime. We're going to try to get you some stats and get you some scores of interest as well, as you are tuned in to our OEB Law Game of the Week.
Football is back. And OEB Law is excited for a season full of big hits, perfect plays, and those nail-biting near misses. If you've been injured, OEB Law will come to your defense and tackle any obstacles blocking you from scoring a full and fair settlement. Call OEB Law 865-546-1111 and turn your wreck into a check.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the hot water wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do.
Feel the comforts of home with natural gas. Natural gas tankless water heaters cost almost 3 times less to operate annually than the electric models. Make the switch today.
Renai, hot water for all.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Here is Helen Hammer.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low prices.
Race on down!
Hi, I'm Ray Varner, and we've got the vehicles you need to make the most of this season.
Whether you're exploring the great outdoors or cheering on your favorite team, let's take your fall to the next level. In a 2017 F-150 Crew Cab XLT 4x4, $38,990. 2020 Ford Escape Titanium All-Wheel Drive, $29,990. 2017 Subaru Outback Limited, $23,899. At Ray Varner Ford in Clinton, we are your East Tennessee Ford dealership. Come and see us today. Shop RayVarnerFord.com.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense.
Ask Griffin Insurance Agency in Kingston if auto owners make sense for you.
Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
1952. That's the year Hammers opened the first store in East Tennessee. Now there are 5 stores and there's always something new. Like in Hammers' popular ladies boutique department, you'll find the lowest price possible on new arrivals every week. Find similar deals in the men's department and the expanded rug department. Plus, special purchases always offer surprise savings. You never know what you'll find next at Hammers.
Make this spring all about enjoying the experience. When you ride on your new Ferris commercial mower featuring patented suspension technology, you'll have more than freshly manicured grass. You'll experience productivity and comfort like never before. And because you won't be slowing down for those rough spots, you'll mow more lawn in less time. Ferris, experience suspension.
XL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
welcome back to your OEB Law Game of the Week. It is halftime here at Rochelle Field, and it is the home team, Coalfield Yellow Jackets, leading over Oliver Springs by a score of 8-7. It's been a great one so far. What is your biggest takeaway from that first half?
Just classic running football. I mean, what you see is teams that's prepared for each other. It means a lot of good coaches are on both of these sidelines and been preparing for weeks with these two teams. They've had plenty of film to get plenty of film study on all year long. So you see that tonight with a very close defensive ball game.
And you see two teams that I think want to play in a similar way. They run different formations, but I think their play selection, when you're talking about a ratio between run and pass, I think it's going to be really similar when we get down and get to look at these stats. And Oliver Springs' leading rusher, Gavin Hill, is averaging about 91 yards per game through 8 games. Coalfield's leading rusher, Seth Lau, is averaging about 91 yards per game through 5 games. So you've got two teams that, you look at their makeup, what they do, and it's no surprise that each team has scored a touchdown so far in this game, and it is as close as it is. Now look at these stats. Brought to you by OEB Law. First downs, 6 for both teams. Rushing yards, you've got 82 for Oliver Springs, 94 for Coalfield. Passing yards, just 13 for Oliver Springs, 5 for Coalfield. Total yards, 99 for Coalfield, 95 for Oliver Springs. This one is close. A turnover each within like 3 plays of each other. Penalties, 3 for 30 for Coalfield, 2 for 15 for Oliver Springs. And time of possession, look at the time of possession. Even it's close. 12:59 for Oliver Springs, 11:01 for Coalfield.
I mean, those first half stats will tell you why we're here tonight.
Yeah.
These two teams are very equal all across the board, and they match up really well. Let's see, coming out of halftime, which coaching staff makes the better halftime adjustments coming out of here. Because most of your plays in that first half, hey, that's what you've been working on. That's your bread and butter. Let's see what they change up in the second half and how they approach this.
Yeah, I've been really excited. I've been looking forward to this game all week long. Here we are, and it's living up to my expectations. Some other big games around the area as well tonight. And the last scoring update that we had, Oak Ridge leading over Powell 21-7.
Oh, that's huge.
It is huge.
Powell is so talented. Their roster is loaded with several 3 and 4 top star football players on the roster. So a huge statement by Oak Ridge. They've been up and down, kind of an emotional bunch this year. But right now they're playing some winning football. Let's see what happens in the second half.
They've won 3 straight. Last week defeated Mount Juliet for the 2nd year in a row. That game was at Blankenship Field last Friday. And if you don't know, Mount Juliet is a 6A school, generally always in the playoff hunt as well. So you're talking about a huge win for Oak Ridge, a team that really looks like it's hitting a stride right now.
Yeah, Mount Juliet scheduling Oak Ridge. We thought we was going to have some really close games, which we have. But Oak Ridge pulling 2 big victories over the Mount Juliet.
I was trying to see if we can get you some more scores of interest. Claiborne County is up on Cumberland Gap 13-0. We'll see that one in the second quarter. Greenville is leading over Granger County 21-8 at halftime. Bearden up on Morristown West 14-7. Dobbins Bennett Science Hill. That's a really good game and one that people would want to watch. It's Dobbins Bennett 21-14 right now, and that game is almost at the half. East Hamilton, Anderson County. It's not even halftime yet, and the Mavericks are up 33-0.
Talk about a team playing their best football right now. Anderson County is definitely playing their best football.
And we were talking about how big it would be if Gatlinburg-Pittman would be able to play a little bit with Alcoa. Just give them a run for their money. Alcoa up in the second quarter, 28-0. Yeah, Tornadoes.
They're outmatching everybody's roster. They're just a different creature over there in Alcoa.
Halls trails Sevier County 14-8 in the second quarter. That's a really good game. Check this one out. At halftime, Maryville up on McMinn County 7-0.
Wow, that is impressive. Here's another one. Campbell County 20, Clinton 13. Clinton playing Campbell County tough, which we knew that.
Yep.
They're very close, and that's an old school rivalry football game.
Yep, it sure is. Greenback, last score update we have in the second quarter, it's the Cherokees up over the Green Wave 20-0. So Greenback has only played 4 football games. They've only played 4 physical football games going up against Midway, a team that has, I think, exceeded expectations this season. But the Green Wave meeting its match with Greenback. Second quarter, last update we have, Kingston and Pigeon Forge were tied at 0. That, I believe, is a game that's going to go down to the wire.
Very last. And here's kind of a little surprise to me. And this is a big rival game here. You're talking about 2 schools very close together. It's Hardin Valley and Farragut. 35-0 at half, Farragut.
Yeah. Hardin Valley struggled a little bit this year, and Farragut's having a pretty good year. So
over here, Grace Christian 21, CAK 14. Grace Christian playing, and that's a big game for the Grace Christian coach, as he was the former head coach at CAK when they won over there big with wide receiver went to Tennessee and some of those guys. It was big-time football over there.
Yeah. We can tell you that the winner of this game is in the running for a region championship. And if that does so happen to be Coalfield, then that is over. Coalfield will win the region championship, and they will play Hancock County in the first round of the playoffs here at Rochelle Field. We know that for certain. If Oliver Springs wins tonight, then they will need to win next week against Midway. We'll be at that game. And if they can pull that off, then Oliver Springs will win a region championship, and they will play Hancock County. I think the expectation is Region 2 is always a lot stronger than Region 1, and so there is a possibility of a Region 2 sweep in which you'll get some of these Region 2s going up against each other again.
That's kind of common around here in these parts. Region 2 kind of all across the classifications kind of centers around East Tennessee a little bit, or at least used to, and Region 2 used to wipe the floor with them. So in the second round of the playoffs, you'd always have a Region 2 versus Region 2 matchup.
I'm so excited. I love being here at Coalfield. We get the game from the roof. You got this aerial view, and don't get me wrong, I love being in a press box, but it's nice having a wide field of view and not having to peer through panels of windows and things like that. You get to take in the night air, and it is the weather is beautiful tonight.
You really get the full experience of the atmosphere. And Coalfield always, it's a little party down here on Friday nights, and the whole community comes out to support these guys. And not just on Friday nights, you're talking Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This community is a big aspect of the success of this Coalfield football team. And the same thing is said for the Oliver Springs football team, who has lost a lot of enrollment since I was in high school back in 2006. I can remember Oliver Springs floating with 3A numbers, and now way down there in single A.
And if you get that shot right there on the camera, you see the kids on the hill with a football. That's high school football. I will always remember high school football as kids with footballs playing little two-hand touch or tackle games beside the high school football game.
Oh, yeah, it's an atmosphere that you grow up in, and everybody here probably was doing this as children. So this is a annual thing that everybody comes out and spends their Friday nights, man. There's nowhere else to be.
And Cole, you and I are Wartburg grads, so Coalfield, in our hearts, this is a hated place. It's a heated place, but I was friends with all those Coalfield guys. I mean, it's a rivalry, but we were all buddies growing up. My wife.
It's fun to trash talk each other.
It's
just the way it is, but we're some best friends off the field.
Yeah. My wife is a 2006 Coalfield grad, so I'm married a Yellow Jacket. Brad Jones back here, star basketball player here for the Coalfield Yellow Jackets. So it's good. I like being able to travel, and I like being able to do these Roane County games.
Yep.
We got to do Anderson County last week. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed going to Clinton and covering the Dragons. But it's nice to come back here. It feels like home.
Yeah. The atmosphere is different. Everybody comes out here. So you see people you haven't seen in years when you come to high school football games in this area, especially here at Coalfield. So it's a really good experience.
You do. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw Morgan County executive Brian Langley with a notepad behind us. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure that's what I saw, though. How about, your county executive walking around with a notepad taking stats for a local high school football game? That's pretty cool.
That is cool, and Brian's done that for many years.
Yeah.
And continuing to do that as county executive, which is pretty impressive.
So you see some polls on the screen there. Look at your 3A polls. Alcoa.
Job Loudon has done to bounce back after the struggling years there and back to number 3 at setting at 8-0 in a very difficult region.
Yeah, and you see a lot of East Tennessee teams on there. You got Red Bank, which is down in the Chattanooga area. Alcoa, of course, is always going to be first on that list. Loudon there at third, like you were talking about. You've got Gatlinburg-Pittman coming in down there at 10th. And
there's no surprise on there to me other than number 9 at Claiborne County. That coach over there at Claiborne County, I tell you, he needs probably a statue built over there for him, because that's a heck of a turnaround. You talk about a struggling program for years. That was Claiborne County. And now, setting at number 9 in 3A, that's impressive.
Yeah, South Gibson. Any relation to you?
No.
South Gibson High School. You're not related to them. Okay, so the 4A poll, Elizabethton up there at number 1, getting all the first place votes. No surprise there. Maybe a surprise. Greenville sitting at 10th.
It might be a surprise for everybody that sees that, but if you follow Greenville, you know that there's been some changes over there and a lot of turnover and things. So they're working through it. And number 10 for Greenville, we're sitting here acting like that's awful.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you're talking about a powerhouse program with the likes of Greenville, Anderson County totally mopping the floor with East Hamilton. Hardin County, always powerhouse.
Yeah, and this 5A poll is the one that's ridiculous for East Tennessee. West at the top of that. Powell second. You know who's not on that list is Oak Ridge.
Who's up 21.
And Oak Ridge is up.
Or 14.
Is up 21-7 over that number 2 Powell team. But Powell, you look at Powell. Powell has played Knox West. Powell has played Knox Central. And Powell has played Beach, that number 3 team up there. So Powell has really had a very difficult schedule this year, and a lot of it has to do with COVID-19. They got that Beach game scheduled in the second week of the year. Got that game with Central scheduled because that wasn't originally on the schedule. So, Powell rose up to the challenge. They didn't go find a cupcake. They went and got the tough opponents that were available for that. And then if you look at the 6A poll, you got Oakland sitting at number 1, getting 11 of the first place votes. Maryville at number 2. DB at number 3.
And I tell you, another surprise is Warren County. That's another program that has had struggled for years, and they really turned that around. You slowly started seeing them put out some pretty big college athletes. A couple guys playing for University of Tennessee right now. So Warren County really on the up and up.
Yeah, and then look at that McMinn County. They're 8-0, and right now they are playing Maryville tough. So the 1A poll, we've already seen this on the screen. We didn't get to talk about it, so let's talk about it now. South Pitt at number 1, not really surprised to anybody. That one loss came to Meigs County. Coalfield sitting there undefeated at number 2, and really that's all. Coalfield was supposed to play Gordonsville. That number 10 team didn't get to because of COVID-19. So not really a lot of surprises on there.
No, South Pittsburgh owns single A right now, so going to be some pretty good matchups in single A in the playoffs.
Yeah, and there's that Meigs County team we were talking about, receiving 2 first-place votes. That number 2 team in Class 2A is the only team that has beaten South Pittsburgh. And, the way it normally goes, that might be the only team that ends up beating South Pittsburgh.
I'm interested in watching this Lewis County team. Do they have the athletes to really compete with the Peabodys and the Meigs counties and the Trousdale counties this year? Because normally speed has always been a weakness of the mighty Lewis County.
Yeah, and you saw also in that top 10 South Green, and why that is significant. South Green is one of those Region 1A teams that one of our local Region 2A teams or 2AA, I should say, will have to go travel and play. South Green winning Region 1 AA, Hampton finishing in second. So you're looking at who's 3 and 4 in Region 2 AA right now. It's Oneida, and it is Cumberland Gap. So Oneida is going to have to travel to Hampton
and
in
that,
round one.
let me tell you, that's a trip up there to Bulldog Country in Hampton. Literally, they got an ice cream scooper and dug it right out of a mountain and threw the school in there. It is an interesting and intimidating place to play. But more than that, it is a long drive.
Yeah, and Oneida having to take the week off next week was going to play this Coalfield Yellow Jacket team, and what is always a classic matchup between the two schools. Now for the first time since, what was the stat, since the 40s that they're not going to play?
47.
1940, 2 years after World War II ended.
I'm telling you. And that was one I was really excited to watch.
Yeah, and, you know, Coach Henry here at Coalfield, he's an Oneida guy. Got plucked from that area to come down here and
done a good job at Oneida as well. I was playing at Wartburg when he was coaching at Oneida, and we used to scrimmage twice a year every year, and I was always impressed with his Oneida team.
And we want to say once again how sad we are about the passing of John Harvey of Harvey's Furniture, a big supporter of Oliver Springs High School athletics, and also a supporter of us, BBB TV, Channel 12. And it was because a lot to do with his sponsorships and his contributions that we're able to come on and bring a game like Oliver Springs and Coalfield to you. And we are very sad about his passing. We are getting set to begin this second half. Oliver Springs will get the football. Coalfield won the toss, and they decided that they would receive. Honestly, I was surprised. I thought they would go on defense first, but they wanted to try to flex muscles on offense.
Well, let's see if we have a different approach on the kickoffs this time for Coalfield, because the short kickoff, it just didn't work out for Coalfield, especially on a field position battle in a close defensive game like this, unless they see something on film that they really don't want to kick to.
It is Hayden Hicks getting set for this Davis Funeral Home kickoff. Back deep, Brandon Nation. And it looks like Gavin Hill for Oliver Springs.
That might be why they're kicking short, Aaron.
Very well could be. And that is a great kickoff.
Here we go.
It sends Hill back inside the 10-yard line, but he's got some running room. Makes some moves. Gets up in middle of his blockers and returns it all the way up to the 40-yard line. You may be correct.
Well, unfortunately, he made him pay right there. But still, it's a little bit better field position than what they got last time off the short kick, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, as we watch this replay.
Good kick. Try to kick it in the corner. Your lane discipline wasn't bad, just missed tackles.
So a Hammers 1st and 10 at the Bobcat 40-yard line. You've got two backs in the backfield. And handoff goes up the middle to Brandon Nation. Nation makes a guy miss, gets up the sideline, and he's tripped up inside the 30-yard line. A huge gain.
Gavin Hill, the ball carrier. Number 3,
that is a 32-yard gain to start this second half for Oliver Springs.
And Cole Hines coming in with a shoelace tackle there to stop him.
Just look at this Chuck Flashman replay. And Chuck just comes in immediately with a smile on his face because he got as soon as he gets here, he gets to see some good football. So Hammers 1st and 10, same formation for quarterback Zach Elliott. Takes a snap. This time the handoff goes to Hill. Hill met at the line of scrimmage and dropped. Maybe a pickup of one.
Bryson Ridge, big defensive lineman, coming in on a good solid tackle. He felt that one.
Yeah. I believe they're going to give him about 1.5. We'll just call it 2nd and we'll go ahead and call it 2nd and 8.
2nd and 8 for the Bobcats.
Oliver Springs getting the play from the sideline. Quarterback runs in the huddle. Coming out in that formation that they ran those 4 different plays out of.
Yeah, loaded 4 wideouts in a bunch formation. And here is a handoff. It goes to Hill on a little reverse. Hill tries to get outside, cannot. And he's body slammed at the 20-yard line.
A little bit slow to get up. pretty tough play there, really. 3rd and short. The Big Oliver Springs offensive line isn't that's not their strength of getting upfield on a lot of outside plays. Those big offensive linemen, they're made for short yardage up the middle.
Whew. And Landon Lau finished that play off. So Hill gets up to the 20. He's a couple yards shy of the first down. And I think Coalfield is going to have to stop Oliver Springs twice right here to get the football back, as Elliott sends Hill out wide to the left. And Elliott on a quarterback keeper is met right at the line of scrimmage.
Now that's high school football.
That's football right there.
That's quarterback versus middle linebacker right there. Let's say hello.
Watch this. And that's like a drill you run in practice.
Very good play by the Coalfield linebacker filling that hole.
A gain of inches makes it 4th and 2.
Anytime you get an opportunity to have a good shot on a quarterback like that, you want to take it.
Elliott, handoff, Hill crosses the 20, runs into a wall, and falls down. It's going to be close. The Coalfield the sidelines are celebrating, but it's going to be close.
Net first by number 5, Seth Lau.
Why did they move the football?
Timeout.
They're going to measure.
Yeah.
They picked the football up from where it was.
Thank goodness the ref didn't move. Too much.
Yeah. I'm not sure why they did that. Let's look at this on the replay, though. Hill runs into the back of his lineman.
It gets folded backwards there.
Yeah. Hill's taking some hard hits.
It's close here.
It's going to be really close. And thankfully, we've got a camera angle. We'll be able to tell you.
Turnover on down. The Yellow Jackets take over first.
Wow.
Ball on their own 18.
That's about an inch short. And Coalfield will take over. That is a huge stop for the Yellow Jackets. They will have a Hammers 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line.
Talk about a defensive stand down there. That was huge. Let's see if this Coalfield offense can get moving here.
And immediately they come out in that T formation. Hines under center. Handoff. That goes to Lau.
Seth Lau, the ball carrier.
Got to specify that. That goes to Seth Lau.
Tackled by number 70, Matthew Johnson.
Ball spotted at the 21-yard line. A pickup of almost 4. We'll call it 2nd and 7. T formation again. Under center is Hines. Handoff Landon Lau. Lau trying to make it to the right. Almost gets to the outside and would have had an opportunity for a home run play there. Good pickup of about 6. We'll make it 3rd and very short.
Say you're going to get a good dose of that T formation right here.
Handoff. That's enough for the Hammers 1st and 10. And it goes to the big guy, Seth Lau.
And I would stick with a lot of this because that Oliver Springs defense is staying in that 3-man front and trying to fill with those linebackers setting about 3 to 4 yards off the line of scrimmage. Odds are you're going to be able to pick up some short yardage.
In a game like this,
that means a lot.
Yeah, if you get 3 or 4 yards a carry, there's no reason to do anything else. wear that Oliver Springs defense out. T formation again, and this one goes to Seth Lau. He's got a lot of running room up the left sideline, and still going out at the 40 of Oliver Springs. That'll be a Hammers 1st and 10.
Seth Lau, the ball carrier.
Big response by Coalfield there with breaking off a long run.
Yeah, 27-yard gain for Seth Lau. As you see on the Chuck Fleischman replay.
Caught number 35 of Oliver Springs, Ty Simpson, getting stuck inside, and he lost contain. Lau made him pay.
You remember when Lane Kiffin took Bryce Brown out for running out of bounds and not finishing a play?
Absolutely.
Seth Lau's not going to run out of bounds. He's going to try to run you over.
Yeah, exactly. Got to be careful here not to get too excited.
Might have had an exchange of words there. No big deal.
I like the education that the referees are giving the guys, giving them an opportunity.
2nd and 9.
That's all right.
Pickup of 1. Ball is at the Oliver Springs 39-yard line. And we are halfway through this third quarter.
Going to come with some outside pressure.
Handoff. Lau tries to get left again, cannot. He is wrapped up and tackled in the backfield. A loss of 1 will make it 3rd and 10.
Who? Brandon Nation. Coming up huge from the linebacker position.
Brandon's nation is the backfield. He claims that as his nation.
And you see there how quickly he fills that hole. You're not supposed to be able to outrun a running back from the backside like that.
Coalfield's got a huge 3rd down upcoming, and Coach Henry wants to talk about it. Timeout, Yellow Jackets. 5:47 left to go in the third quarter at Rochelle Field. Wrapped up.
Football is back. Football is back. And OEB Law is excited for a season full of big hits, perfect plays, and those nail-biting near misses. If you've been injured, OEB Law will come to your defense and tackle any obstacles blocking you from scoring a full and fair settlement. Call OEB Law 865-546-1111 and turn your wreck into a check.
Good one right here. 3rd and a long 10 for Coalfield in Oliver Springs territory with 5:47 left to go in the third quarter. A possible region championship on the line in this one tonight as Hines sends 3 wideouts to the right, drops back to pass, looking, lets it go. Good coverage down there. Well, I say that, but you're going to have a pass interference.
Gavin Hill defending. Penalty markers on the play.
And they're going to call it on Coalfield. A pass interference on Coalfield.
Oh.
So that was interesting. I think Gavin Hill was
3 wideouts to the right. Draws back.
Hill was in a position to make a play on this football. I don't know. Yeah.
That's one I let go, but hey.
Yeah. And then, my goodness, a 15-yard penalty right here is very detrimental because it goes from a 3rd and about 11 to a 3rd and about 26.
Yep.
3rd and long for the Yellow Jackets.
Your playbook shrinks a little bit here, but you've got some really talented wide receivers in Coalfield, so let's see what they do here.
I think you run a screen right here.
That's all I think I can tell you.
Fakes the screen, actually. Hines drops back to pass, lets it go
ball.
Way down the field, and that pass is underthrown and almost intercepted. And it falls incomplete.
Intended for Connor Johnson, incomplete.
And it's 4th and very long.
I tell you, once he develops his arm strength, he's going to be a really good quarterback. Watch his release here. Quick pump fake. Good release, good technique. Just not enough arm strength yet.
So Landon Lau is in punt formation for Coalfield, and we've seen Coalfield lines up in a really funky punt formation, and Lau does a rugby-style kick. And there, it's a wobbly end-over-ender, lands at the 34, and rolls dead right out of bounds at the 30-yard line of Oliver Springs, and that's where the Bobcats will take over with a Hammers 1st and 10.
Stop at the Oliver Springs 30. The Bobcats take over 1st and 10.
So a huge third down penalty for Coalfield stops that drive short, and Oliver Springs will take over 70 yards away from pay dirt. The junior, Zach Elliott, leads his team out shotgun formation. Back in the backfield with him is Brandon Nation. Elliott keeps it. Gets up to the 35-yard line. A pickup of 5 will bring up 2nd and 5.
And I like how Elliott runs the ball out of the quarterback position. He is not afraid of contact, and he will lower the boom on a defender.
Yeah, as we see on this Chuck Fleischman replay, Elliott meets the defensive back in the hole, puts his head down, and drives forward for a positive pickup.
It'll make your offensive coordinator a little nervous, but I tell you, I like tough running.
Oliver Springs taking its time to get that play in. 10 seconds on the play clock. Shotgun formation, 2 wideouts to the right. Man in motion is Hill. Fakes the handoff to Hill and lets it fly. He's got one-on-one coverage, running under that football and almost getting to it. For Oliver Springs is Kane Googe, but it's overthrown just a little bit. And
Dawson Nitschke in on really good coverage. He was right there. He turned, made a play on the ball. Really good cornerback work there.
On an island.
Oh, yeah, he did a great job.
I like the moxie in that play call.
Yeah.
Elliott directing traffic. They've got that bunch package with 4 wideouts to the left, and that's the way Elliott's going to run. It's a quarterback keeper, and he's ripped down.
Hayden Hicks coming in big with a tackle for loss.
That play had no chance at all. It's a loss of 5, makes it 4th and 10, and Oliver Springs is going to have to punt.
I'm feeling some momentum changing.
That's big.
And this is a big punt here for Oliver Springs. Let's see if they can change field position or if Coalfield can get a big return here.
High snap for Tyler Mance. That is a high spinner and lands at the 40. Takes a good bounce for Oliver Springs. Almost hit the guy running downfield. That would be Tyler Bridges, but it did not. And so that's a pretty good punt all in all. Coalfield will have it with a Hammers 1st and 10 around the Yellow Jacket 30-yard line.
Good change of field position there. Much needed for the Oliver Springs defense here.
Yeah, just to see that on that replay. It almost rained on his head. Cole Hines, the sophomore, leads his team out in that T formation. Handoff goes to back out of the backfield, running from left to right and getting about 10 yards. That's a good run by Kanan Bowling.
Coalfield taking advantage, running those running backs on the outside, making that big defensive line of Oliver Springs run east and west. Really taking advantage of it, and they're getting tired.
And this one is so close to a first down, they will measure. Chain Gang doesn't have to run very far for this one, though. And from our angle, it looks a little bit short. But we'll see when they mark it. Whew. A literal inch.
He had to Wow. Close.
A literal inch.
Thumb length.
So Coalfield will have it second and a literal inch.
Really good pickup by the Coalfield running back there, bowling.
It's second and very, very short. Ball in the Coalfield 38.
How short's very, very?
Yeah, I would certainly say Coalfield has been the aggressor so far in this second half, which doesn't bode well for Oliver Springs as the Yellow Jackets have a 1-point lead. Second and a literal inch. Hines, and we've got to stop and play. There's a flag. Ooh, this could be huge if this is on Coalfield. So an offsides penalty on Coalfield backs them up. It will be second and 5 and a literal inch.
Coalfield penalized 5 yards, dead ball foul, encroachment.
So not getting that first down is big now.
It really is. Let's see what happens here on second down, but you never want to have those mistakes in those situations.
Quickly up to the line is Hines. T formation again. Hines, handoff. Going from right to left is Seth Lau. Lau tries to get outside. Does. Finds a lot of running room. Up to midfield. Up to the 40. Breaking tackles. Finally brought down by 4 Bobcats at the 34-yard line. He got a lot more than 5 and a literal inch.
Yeah, big number 60. Bryson Ridge leading the block here, running and chugging and running. Leading Seth Lau down the field, getting good blocks. That's what you want to see. That's winning football right there, that big offensive lineman.
Man, when he hits that cutback.
It's dangerous. He's a very good open field runner in Lau.
Ball's at the 34-yard line of Oliver Springs. Hammers first and 10. Hines, and now we've got a stoppage and play.
Timeout.
Oliver Springs wants a timeout with 1:59 left to go in the third quarter, and Coalfield driving.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
Back at Rochelle Field, going to try to give you some scores of interest. We still, at the half, have Roane County, which is Kingston, Kingston and Pigeon Forge tied at 0 at the half. That's a slugfest.
Oh, boy, ain't it?
Yeah. Last score update we have, Anderson County at the half up on East Hamilton 40-0. Sweetwater up on Tellico Plains 30-18 at the half. Greenback over Midway 20-0. And Meigs County on top of Polk County 35-0. First and 10 here for Coalfield. Hines fakes a handoff and then hands off. And tackled in the backfield is Bowling.
Jacob Hillman coming in, 5'10", 172. The junior coming in, making a really good tackle.
Coalfield, Hines.
Beat the offensive blocker. Secured the tackle.
Loss of about half a yard will bring up 2nd and 11. And we are under 90 seconds left to play in this third quarter. Hines fakes a handoff, rolls out, sets up the screen pass to Bowling, and Bowling.
What a job. Great job by number 22, Hayden West. I'm sorry, number 22, Cameron Stockton coming in, reading the play, making a really good tackle for loss there.
And Coach Henry is talking to the official. He wants something. I'm not sure what he was looking at, but let's look at this Chuck Flashman replay.
If we watch the cornerback here do a really good job defeating the block, running through the blocks, avoiding the blocks, and making a tackle.
A loss of 5. Ball spotted at the 40 makes it 3rd and 15. And Hines lines up in the shotgun. 3 wideouts to his right, 2 to his left. Hines is going to keep it on that quarterback draw. Has some running room, and wow, he's drilled as a flag comes in.
Brandon Nation lowering the boom there.
And that flag came in
right
the backfield.
as the tackle happened.
But the flag, they didn't attempt to even put it near the tackle. So that is a hold on Coalfield, and I think that's going to be I believe they're probably going to decline that penalty.
Well, I tell you, that play right there will be on Nation's highlight reel. I guarantee you that.
Holding penalty against the Yellow Jackets declined.
So a pickup of 2. Watch this Chuck Flashman replay. Hines. Oh, this is the previous play. Maybe we can see what Coach Henry was upset about. It's 4th and 12, and that is how this third quarter will come to an end. Here is the play, though. Watch this Chuck Flashman replay.
Watch Nation number 8.
Boom,
son.
My goodness.
I like this kid. I know he's a good running back. He's a good offensive player, but that kid's future is on defense.
He is the leading tackler for this Oliver Springs team, and he gives Oliver Springs a little bit of momentum going into the fourth quarter, which will begin when we get back on your OEB Law Game of the Week.
Treasure needs to run.
And the Hot Water Wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do.
Feel the comforts of home with natural gas. Natural gas tankless water heaters cost almost 3 times less to operate annually than the electric models. Make the switch today.
Renai, hot water for all.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24.
Watch for fate.
Back at OEB Law Game of the Week, Landon Lau in punt formation gets this one away and takes not much of a bounce, but that ball lands inside the 15-yard line. So now Oliver Springs does start this drive backed up.
That's a great punt right there for Lau and Coalfield. It backs Oliver Springs up into some uncomfortable position. Get a penalty. Couple stops here, and they're getting close to danger territory. So let's see what Oliver Springs does.
Now, while we were in break, you got to glance at the stats. What stood out to you there?
Identical, right down the middle. Very similar all the way around. No stat is standing out.
Hammers 1st and 10. Elliott in that shotgun formation handoff goes to Hill. Hill is covered up and tackled for a loss of 2. We'll bring up 2nd and 12.
Look to be Landon Hill coming in hot there, running through the block and making a really good tackle.
10, Elliott in that.
Stop by number 10, Isaac McKinney. And number 1, Landon Lau.
Yeah, Landon Lau doing a really good job coming from behind and making a tackle
for the Bobcats, ball on the Roane 12.
So same formation. Tight end to the right. Elliott is going to let this one go way downfield and overshoots his receiver by about 5 yards. Again, trying to take advantage of having one-on-one coverage, but has thrown it too far both times.
Well, that time I'm going to blame the wide receiver. He tried a double move there, which slowed him down tremendously, and he was never able to catch back up to the football.
Oliver Springs likes seeing that one-on-one coverage on the outside.
You got to do something to back up these defensive backs of Coalfield. So you got to take a couple 50-50 ball chances down the field and hope you strike one of them.
This time Elliott sends 2 wideouts to either side. One man in the backfield is Brandon Nation. Nation gets the handoff up the middle. Not anything there. 3 and out for Oliver Springs, and they'll punt this football right back to Coalfield.
Isaac McKinney coming up big.
Isaac McKinney with the stop.
Watch on the replay here. Reads him. Bounces inside, makes a really hard tackle. And number 50 getting fired up for Coalfield.
Yeah, and you know, if you can pull Brandon Nation back like that and tackle him.
That shows you how strong you are.
Yeah, so here is for Oliver Springs punt. It's a wobbly spiral, comes down like a missile and takes a Coalfield bounce before it is down at the 37.5-yard line. So Coalfield is in Oliver Springs territory with excellent field position when they get this ball. What a heavyweight fight we've got here.
Yeah, this is a slugfest. And you see very little changes out of that Oliver Springs defense. And wow, there's not been an enormous amount of success for Coalfield offensively.
Handoff. This goes to Landon Lau. Lau crosses the 30 down to the 38-yard line. Tackled by Nation, and Nation is slow to get up.
And that's because Landon Lau, when he was being tackled by Nation, fell on top of Nation's stomach area. So it's probably knocked the air out of him.
Yeah, he's patting his stomach. I think you saw that one right.
His full weight fell on him. And Landon Lau is not the smallest guy on the football field.
Not at all. And you hope that Nation is okay, because he is such a game changer in this game. He's great with the football in his hands on offense, and he's your leading tackler on defense.
Oh, yeah, and if I'm Coalfield, I'm coming out and I'm running right at him or his replacement right here.
Yeah. It's just good strategy.
That's one of the best defenders on the football field tonight.
Yeah. So you see Coalfield, I think, their style of play tonight, lining up in that T formation and really coming at you with their big backs and the way they run the football, you can see that it's worn down this Oliver Springs defense a lot, I think.
Oh, it absolutely has. And it really takes an effect on you in the second half as you see players slowly starting to get up. And it takes a toll on the body, this type of football. So let's see who's been working harder in the offseason all season long. Weight room is imperative if you play this type of football.
First and 10 Yellow Jackets, following Oliver Springs, 28.
So a Hammers first and 10 for Coalfield after that long run by Lau. T formation again for Hines. This time going from right to left, it's Seth Lau. Lau met in the backfield and tackled at the 35, a loss of about 5 on the play.
Tucker, I'm sorry, that was Gavin Hill again, 5'11", 153. Senior.
Just comes off that block.
Yeah, he's a really good athlete.
It's like he's playing peekaboo.
Second and 15 for the
it's like he's not there, and then bam, he's there. Just like that.
And he's usually coming with the boom, too.
So loss of 5 brings up second and 15 as we move to close to 9 minutes left to play in this football game. Young quarterback Hines, hands off to Landon Lau, going from left to right. Lau's got a lot of running room, and he is tackled around the 22-yard line.
Landon Lau, the ball carrier.
A good pickup of about 13 will bring up third and short.
Austin Bridges in on the tackle down the field, which is never a good sign to see your defensive lineman having to make tackles 8-10 yards down the field.
Yellow Jackets.
Great effort by the defensive lineman.
A good pickup of about 11. So Coalfield's got a third and manageable here, and I dare say this is 4-down territory.
It looked like Nation's replacement is the quarterback for Oliver Springs.
Handoff, Landon Lau, and gets to about the 20 and is brought down. Great effort by Landon Lau to stay on his feet long enough to gain a little bit, maybe another yard, because every yard is important when you get into 4th and short. As you see this, look, he just keeps it going. He just keeps it going and then falls forward. Ball's at the 21. Looks like they need to make between the 19 and 18-yard line. Big 4th down right here for Coalfield. Hines under center. Hard count. Takes a snap. Handoff going from left to right. Landon Lau's tackled in the backfield. Turnover on downs.
Hunter Atkins coming in huge with a good tackle there.
Look at this Chuck Flashman replay. Yeah. Got him by the back of his legs.
Huge turnover there.
So now Oliver Springs will have it with the Hammers 1st and 10 on the Bobcat 20-yard line with 7:39 left to play in the game. If you're a big fan of classical football, you're loving this one right now.
Yeah, this is just a good old school 1950 top football right here now.
Elliott, shotgun formation, man in the backfield.
Low snap.
Fakes the handoff, and now Elliott's going to keep it. Picks up a yard before he's brought down.
Yeah, he definitely got away from Isaac McKinney there, and he's lucky he did.
Yeah, and after helping make the tackle, Isaiah Sheldon of Coalfield rips the towel free from Elliott and throws it 10 feet in the air. And I like how he did that in one smooth motion. I don't know if we'll get a look at it here or not, but it's pretty funny. Right there. You see it? Whoa, let it go. Okay. Elliott takes a snap. He's rolling to his right, looking downfield, lets it go, and throws it to his tight end's feet. And that pass is incomplete. Now, if Tyler Mance is a normal-sized person, he might have been able to catch that one. But being 6'3", that one was a little bit low for him.
Well on the road, 21.
Yeah, 6'3", 235, 240 pounds. He is a specimen out there on the football field.
3rd and 10 for Oliver Springs. Another big 3rd down as Coalfield has forced 2 straight 3-and-outs. They're looking to make it 3 straight. Tight formation to the left. And we've got movement. That's a 5-yard penalty on Oliver Springs. And so instead of 3rd and 10, you're going to have a 3rd and 15.
Oliver Springs penalized 5 yards. Dead ball foul, false start.
And Oliver Springs has not really been able to do anything on offense this entire second half.
No, we see some frustration there out of the Oliver Springs football team. That was pretty good time out there.
So a huge 3rd down right here, 3rd and 15 in Oliver Springs. Coach Larry Green wants to talk about it. We'll see what they do when we get back to your OEB Law Game of the Week.
Here is Helen Hammer.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low prices.
Race on down!
So here we are at Coalfield. Let me set the scene for you. It's 8-7. Stats are basically identical. And, yeah, the only difference in this game is that Coalfield went for 2 and got it, and Oliver Springs kicked an extra point and got it. That's a 1-point difference. However, in this second half, Oliver Springs has not been able to move the football as well as Coalfield has. And the Bobcats face a 3rd and 15 right here, deep in their own territory.
took a lot of time on the sideline trying to make sure everybody was on the same page. Calm the emotions down a little bit.
Elliott comes out, 3 wide receivers to the short side of the field, bobbles the snap, picks it up and runs with it, and he's tackled. After a gain of about 1, that ain't going to do it. 4th and 14, Oliver Springs has to punt again.
Started with a high snap. He had to reach up for it. Was never able to recover.
And I'm wondering, I'm thinking that was not a design quarterback run.
It all started with a high snap.
Yeah, Elliott improvised. Here's the punt. That is a high punt that hits the fence, blocking the Oliver Springs fans from the bench.
Just a truly horrible series for the Oliver Springs Bobcats there.
Yeah, and then when you need a pretty decent punt with probably a pretty decent roll because you are backed up in your own territory, you get a net 10-yard punt. And so Coalfield takes over with all the momentum, with the lead, and the clock on their side with a short field. I think I covered it right there. Yellow Jackets with the Hammers 1st and 10. Ball at about the 26-yard line. And a different formation here. They line up in about a power I. Pitch goes out wide to Seth Lau. Lau is tackled around the line of scrimmage at the 26-yard line. It'll be 2nd and long.
Number 4, Jacob Heilman, and number 8, Brandon Nation.
Brandon Nation back in the game. That's good to see.
Yeah, that was, well, they call it.
Unfortunately for Brandon Nation, the same thing just happened to him that took him out of the ballgame earlier. So he's coming from behind a lot, making a lot of those ring tackles around the hips, and he's pulling them down right on top of him. So I know he's frustrated because I'm sure that is hurting.
No gain, 2nd and 10. Back to the T set for Coalfield. Hines loses the football. It's on the ground. He is able to pick it back up, and somehow I think he gained a yard.
Fumble on the play, recovered by Cole Hines.
Whew. That would have been big for Oliver Springs.
And number 50, Isaiah Sheldon's helmet came off during the play, so he's going to have to come out of the ball game.
Hines did a great job getting back on that football after he lost it. So after a pickup of 1, it's 3rd and 9. So Oliver Springs, with under 5 minutes left to go in this game, Oliver Springs needs to stop right here. Coalfield again in 4-down territory. Hines under center. Going from left to right, fakes it, handoff. Fakes the handoff, and going up to make the catch and being flipped end over end is Seth Lau. And that gets the chains moving. It's a Hammers 1st and 10.
I'm glad somebody noticed the amazing play that he made and told him about it, because I tell you, that's a heck of a job to hang on to that catch right there.
Has to go up high to get it, and then takes the contact, flips over, and able to hold on to the football all the way down.
Impressive.
1st down, handoff. Trying to get around the right side. The ball pops out. And it goes out of bounds. That is the 2nd time in 3 plays that ball has hit the turf for Coalfield.
But lucky for Coalfield, it took some Coalfield bounces.
Whew. And it looked like for Oliver Springs, it was just Wyatt Green getting the top of his helmet on top of that football. But, yeah, fortunately for Coalfield, that ball goes out of bounds.
2nd and 4, Yellow Jackets, ball on the 6.
Oliver Springs has got to dig down deep, try to keep Coalfield out of this end zone.
Handoff, Lau. Tries to go over left guard. Not much there.
Touched immediately, but still fell forward.
Pickup of 2. Should bring up 3rd and about 2.
Stop by 54, Brady Jackson.
Big Brady Jackson, the nose guard for Oliver Springs.
And he got a better pickup than I gave him credit for. It's third and very, very short inside the 5-yard line. Handoff, Lau. Lau digging, driving, picks up a yard or two. That's enough to move the chains. It'll be a Hammers 1st and goal. And if you are Oliver Springs, what you're looking at now is you're going to have to take your final timeout with 2.5 minutes left. You'd about be better off to let Coalfield in the end zone right here to give yourself more time to go down the field and score, but we'll see what they do. They're going to talk about it and come up with a plan, and we'll have your final 2.5 minutes when we get back.
Hi, I'm Ray Varner, and we've got the vehicles you need to make the most of this season.
Whether you're exploring the great outdoors or cheering on your favorite team, let's take your fall to the next level. In a 2017 F-150 Crew Cab XLT 4x4, $38,990. 2020 Ford Escape Titanium All-Wheel Drive, $29,990. 2017 Subaru Outback Limited, $23,899. At Ray Varner Ford in Clinton, we are your East Tennessee Ford dealership. Come and see us today. Shop RayVarnerFord.com.
Back at Coalfield, the Yellow Jackets with a 1st and goal around the 1-yard line with just 2:31 left to go in this game. We knew this was going to be a great game. Kingston and Pigeon Forge in the 4th quarter tied at nothing. That's a great game as well. Let's see what Coalfield does. Hines under center. 3 backs immediately behind him. Handoff goes to McKinney. And Isaac McKinney is in the end zone. Touchdown, Coalfield. Coalfield is going to go for 2 here. Why this is important? You get it, it's a 2-score game. You don't get it, it's a 1-score game.
Center, 3 backs.
As we see on the Chuck Fleischman replay, McKinney didn't have to do much there to score. And now Coalfield is going to take a timeout. They've got a really big 2-point conversion play right here that they're going to try to convert. And we'll see it when we get back.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense.
Ask Griffin Insurance Agency in Kingston if auto owners make sense for you.
Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
A big 2-point conversion play coming up right here for Coalfield. They wanted some extra time to talk about it, and that's exactly what they got. Again, the scenario here, Coalfield does not kick extra points. They go for 2. They got it the first time around, and they made the 2-point conversion. So now, if Coalfield makes this, you have a 2-possession ball game. That is very important, because if you don't, then Oliver Springs still has 2.5 minutes to try to score and tie this up with an extra point or win it with a 2-point conversion of their own. So here's Hines under center, power I formation, extra blockers to the left. Here's Lau, gets the pitch. He's brought down. The 2-point conversion is no good, and we still have a heck of a ball game on our hands here.
Gavin Hill making a stop, man. And that is a huge stop here to keep that with a one score ball game.
So let's look at this Chuck Fleischman replay. Yeah, Hill coming from that backside, trips Lau up. Whew. I tell you, of all the players that we have seen in this region, if you're telling me to pick one back to get you a 2-point conversion, I'm picking Seth Lau every time. And so it shows you the toughness of this Oliver Springs team to be able to stop him this late into the 4th quarter.
total turnaround for the Oliver Springs Bobcats, you know, starting at, 0-4?
Yeah.
Devastating start. And, you know, they thought they were about to derail there a little bit and got the big win over Greenback. Things started happening.
Drive summary, 7 plays, 26 yards, but importantly, Oliver Springs has no timeouts, and that drive took 3:56 off the clock.
Which is impressive as to where they started with field position. You know, Oliver Springs, that whole drive was Oliver Springs' fault there of giving Coalfield the positive field position to start that drive.
So with your Davis Funeral Home kickoff, it's Hayden Hicks.
Number 16, Tyler Bridges.
These two teams could play 10 times, and you're going to have a similar result, probably 10 out of 10.
Gavin Hill back deep to receive with Tyler Bridges.
Let's see if they change up their tactic here.
Takes a run at it. Lets it go. It's an onside kick. The ball's on the ground. Coalfield has it.
And that looked like an accident.
I don't think it was. I don't think it was. The way he ran at that football so quickly. And see, here's the thing. That ball didn't travel 10 yards, but Oliver Springs touched it first. That's what the officials are talking about. This is Coalfield football. Watch this on the Chuck Fleischman replay. That right there. Coalfield needs a first down to end this thing, and Oliver Springs needs a turnover badly.
First and 10 Yellow Jackets, ball on the Coalfield 48.
You've got to get some pressure and strip that football away through Oliver Springs.
Handoff. Not much there.
Mind you, Aaron, there's been a lot of time.
We've got a penalty flag back here for extracurriculars. Depending on who this goes against, this could be huge. 2:11 on the clock.
And does Coalfield only have one timeout left?
Yes. After the play was over, personal foul on Coalfield. Because that's after the play, you tack on 15 yards. So Coalfield loses it down there. And it's going to be second and about it's going to be second and about 20. Now, here's the thing. It's still not a great situation for Oliver Springs, but if you back Coalfield up that much, there's less of a chance that they'll get that first down that could end the game. And Oliver Springs gives itself a chance with a stop here to get the ball back.
With a stop, but that clock is ticking.
T formation, handoff, Seth Lau. Lau's tackled after a pickup of about 3. And we wanted some extracurricular, I shouldn't say we, I should say the Coalfield crowd here wanted a flag for some more extracurriculars there after that play. We'll get a good look at it here. Lau goes down.
Big defensive line for Oliver Springs stood straight up.
There wasn't much there.
Had enough strength to be standing straight up and still not get pushed off the ball too much.
3rd and 17. That clock is running. We're at 1:15 to go in this game. 14 seconds on the play clock. So with a stop here, 40 seconds goes back on the clock. Coalfield does not have to staff this until about the 1-minute mark, right above the 1-minute mark, which means they would punt this football away with about 20 seconds left. Here's Lau up the middle, has running room, gets across midfield before he's brought down. And let's see, they get the play clock reset. There's a 7-second difference between the play clock and the game clock. So theoretically, I'd say Coalfield is probably going to take this down as far as it will go, or go ahead and take the 5-yard penalty. And then there's going to be about 5 seconds left on the clock. And at that point, you just run backward. Like, would you do that?
I wouldn't. I'm going to kick it. I'm going to do my normal punt, kick it down the field, potentially even run some time off the clock out of that rugby-style punt.
And Coach Henry actually calls a timeout with 7.3 seconds left.
This would be a great time for a fake punt right here, I'll tell you.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. Because you got Lau as your punter, and he's going to run some time off that clock.
If you're Oliver Springs, you've got a big decision here. Where the ball is spotted, if you get a punt block, you might be able to take a shot at the end zone on first down. But if you don't get the punt block and you don't set up a return, time might run out on this punt. So, what do you do?
I'm sending everybody. I'm hoping for a block.
Well, you kind of have to anyway because Lau does the rugby-style kicks.
Exactly.
So if you don't get pressure on him, he doesn't even have to kick it.
Exactly. And your offense isn't designed to, put up a lot of points in a hurry. So this is probably your highest percentage shot of an opportunity here. So I would be sending everyone out. I got my defensive linemen off the field and replace them with speed. Let's see what happens here for Oliver Springs.
It takes all 11 players to make it work. Everything has to go right for Coalfield on this play. Snap a little bit high. Lau takes it, gets the punt away.
Kick.
It's very high. End over ender lands. And time runs out on the punt. This game is over. Coalfield holds on. The Yellow Jackets are your Region 2 Single A champions and will have a home game in the first round of the playoffs against Hancock County. What a game we just saw.
Huge. And what an opportunity for home field advantage versus Hancock County for Coalfield. And Oliver Springs is going to have to hit the road.
2020 Region 2A champions.
That is big. As we see Coach Larry Green meets up with Coach Henry. They share a moment, a handshake. Jared Henry there as well. Those coaches right there have a lot of respect for each other.
Playoff action hosting Hancock County on Rochelle Field.
So what's interesting, you look at it, and I think we mentioned this earlier, and I think it's very feasible to think that Region 2 gets the sweep over Region 1 in the first round of playoffs. If that's the case, you've got your 1 seed, your 4 seed, your 3 seed, and your 2 seed. Looking like Greenback is going to be probably your 3 seed now.
And that's a team to watch out for now because I'm sure they're going to be playing some better football here in late in the season in the playoffs.
So you'll have your 1 and your 2 on the same side of the bracket, right?
Should.
I'd like to draw it up really quick. It would be 1, 4, 2, 3, or 3. So, no, it would be your 1 and your 3, which would set Coalfield up playing Greenback in the second round of the playoffs.
Oh, wow, what a matchup.
Yeah. And, of course, all this is speculation. I believe Greenback, they had a good enough lead on Midway that they're probably going to win that game, which gives them a leg up, possibly, on the playoff picture. And you've got Oliver Springs still has to go to Midway next week and win that football game to seal down the number 2 seed, because if Midway were to win that game, then,
hey,
you got a whole different
better keep an eye on that game, too, because that's going to be a dandy next week.
But as it stands, Coalfield, gutsy. How about that onside kick call?
I tell you, I still don't believe it was a call. I'd have to see the replay up close and personal or talk to the head coach. Let's get Brad Jones in on that, and let's make sure we get an answer from him this week.
I thought it was odd. I thought it was odd the way he approached the football. He ran at it full speed.
He did.
That's
and it was like it threw him off with his stride.
Yeah.
And he kind of just – I think it was a mistake, but we'll find out.
So look at these final stats. They were identical at halftime. And then you look at the final stats, and Coalfield really dominated the second half, and that was the big difference. Oliver Springs with those 2 turnovers, one of those came in the second half. Rushing yards, Oliver Springs finishes with 125, Coalfield with 226, and really your passing yards about the same. So that's your big difference there. Penalties, 7 for 69 for Coalfield. They've only played 6 games this regular season. That's all they're going to play is 6 games. They'll have to get that cleaned up in the playoffs, though.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. To really win close football games, you got to cut down on the penalties. But what cost Oliver Springs in this ball game was those 2 turnovers. You just can't have it. 2 turnovers in a game this close, that costs you this game.
And you look at like the small things that make up the big story in these close games, and you think about it, like you don't think that was an onside kick. Of course, Brad doesn't think that it was an onside kick. So you've got an onside kick, though. Ultimately, it was an onside kick. And think about, what if that does go deep? What if Oliver Springs does get a good return and they get the football back? They've got 2.5 minutes to try to make something work. That could completely change the complexion of this football game. And there's the replay of that.
Let's see what his teammates do. I don't think that. Look at him. I do not think that was an onside kick.
But
just the alignment of the kickoff team sort of tells me that.
But this player for Oliver Springs, you're going to look at that in film study, made a huge mistake.
Yep.
That ball went 5 yards before he tried to jump on it. And when he did, he couldn't secure it cleanly. And that made a huge difference. But you see the time on the clock, 2:22. That's what Oliver Springs would have had. We don't know what kind of field position they would have had. They hadn't had a lot of success on offense all second half. So, it's up in the air. Who knows what would have happened?
Well, shoulda, coulda.
Yeah. And then another thing, they've got the 2 long pass plays where they've got one-on-one coverage. And if those connect, you've got huge gains. And if you hit one of those in stride, possibly. That's a really hard play to make, especially if you're talking about single-A football. But if one of those gets hit in stride, that could be a touchdown that you're talking about right now. So you get into these tight games, these really close, evenly matched games, the little things like that matter.
Always.
And I'll tell you something else that we would have talked about, that personal foul penalty at the end for Coalfield that cost them 15 yards. They needed a first down. If they could have got it, they would have ended the game. That kept them from getting it.
Yeah,
they
you got to
still
clean
ended up
that
winning.
stuff up. You got to clean that stuff up because that will cost you later on.
Yeah.
So great learning experience. These coaches have a lot of really good film to do some really good teaching opportunities with their teammates, with their players to really get the best out of them because these 2 teams ain't done yet.
No, they're not. And we could see a rematch in the playoffs between these 2 teams. How great would that be?
That would be astounding. And you talk about a matchup, second time in the playoffs. Whew.
Yeah. So we're going to try to stick around and give you a couple scores of interest when we can get them because we had a lot of games tonight that we were trying to keep an eye on. And I'll see if I can pull something up for you really quick so we can say that in the third quarter, Oak Ridge was leading Powell 28-14. So that's the latest that I've got on that one. Greenback was up over Midway in the third quarter, 27-0. So, Greenback's taking care of business. And how about this? Kingston scores in the fourth quarter. The Yellow Jackets up 7-0.
Wow. A big fight down in Kingston. I tell you what, that's going to be a big game. I'd love to get some updates on that game, on how that is ending.
Yeah, and a lot of people, if you remember 2 weeks ago in the 4A polls, people had East Hamilton in front of Anderson County for some unknown reason. Like that's how you know, like, polls really, honestly, they're fun to look at, and it's fun to be on if you're one of the top 10 teams, but man, they don't really matter that much. What you do on the field is what matters because, and you see on this poll, Anderson County is in front of East Hamilton, but it was last week or the week before last, East Hamilton was actually in front of Anderson County. The Mavericks win tonight over East Hamilton was never competitive at all, and that final score is 43-14. So yeah, Anderson County's really good.
Oh, they are really, really good. And I tell you, here's another good game: is Tellico Plains 32, Sweetwater 30 in the fourth quarter. And we covered Sweetwater early against Rockwood. We really liked what we saw out of Sweetwater.
Yeah.
So behind late against Tellico.
Yeah, they were an impressive-looking team. South Pittsburgh at the half, this is the last score we've got on this one. They were up over Sale Creek 64-8.
Hey, here's another old-school football rivalry that we don't really pay a lot of attention to anymore, but that's York Institute and Livingston. That is an old-school football game right there, and you've got Livingston 15 to York Institute 7 at halftime right now.
Wow. McMinn County was trailing Maryville at half, 7-0. the Rebels put together 14 more points and give up a safety. Final score there, 21-2. So
we got a halftime score update with Sunbright 35 to Wartburg Central's 26.
And, of course, we're trying to get some final scores, but not every game has gone final. This one kind of ended probably a little bit earlier than other games around the area because both of these teams ran the football quite a bit. And so you'll have that. But if you'll stick around, we will have the five-star preps Friday night scoreboard show. And we'll have Queener and Cox giving you all of those scores once they come in. And those scroll across your screen there. I had the opportunity. You know, Brad let me do that show for a season. And it's a lot of fun. It's so much fun to get those phone calls. They take phone calls until about midnight.
Oh, yeah.
And
you're getting those good late-night phone calls.
Yeah, you get people calling in from all over the area.
Frustrated.
Talking about their teams and talking about Tennessee football. And, you know, back then, it was Butch's next to last year, I believe, when I got to be on that show with Jonathan Cox. And he called him Botch Jones, and he was not a fan at all. And, I encourage everybody to stick around for that one. Tune into it because the Friday night scoreboard show is a lot of fun.
Well, I tell you who tunes into that every Friday night, and that is Judge Don Elledge out of Anderson County.
Oh, yeah.
He talks to me every time we have court about how awesome that show is. He tunes in every Friday night.
It is, and that's why it gets so many viewers. And, you know, if you can't tune that in on your Comcast network, then you can tune it in on Facebook, just like you did this game. Just search for BBB Communications. And a reminder, next Friday, I think that's setting up to be a good one. You've got this Oliver Springs team, which is upset. They fell short of a region championship tonight. You've got Midway. They're going to be mad.
They're going to be mad.
Coming off of a big loss to Greenback. And that's going to be a big one down south of the river. And we'll be there giving you all the coverage of that beginning at 7 p.m. And then that's it.
It's going to be my first time broadcasting at Midway.
Oh, yeah?
Yep, coached some games there, but never broadcasted.
There you go. It'll be a lot of fun. And then that's our swan song, buddy. That'll end it for us. And I mean, I shouldn't say that. I hope that Brad doesn't fire us and brings us back for next season.
You're out of here.
You know what, Brad? I'm sorry. We tried really hard this year. I promise you, we did our best. I hope it was good enough that we do get to come back. But, next week we'll wrap up a very insane, dysfunctional high school football season.
Well, it really has. And what a thank you that we all need to give to Brad Jones and BBB Communications because of the opportunity. A lot of people weren't able to get out and watch their loved ones play football this year. So we were the only way that a lot of people could see the games. And thank you to OEB Law for providing that service to so many people in our area. I've heard so many people, personal messages, Facebooks, phone calls, thanking us for this, what we do here, showing highlighting their loved ones in this area. So it means a lot to the communities.
Yeah, and then the various sponsors that we've had all season long as well. You're talking Chuck Fleischman and Harriman Utility Board and Evans Mortuary, Davis Funeral Homes. You've got Hammers, of course. You've got Evans Mortuary, Oak Ridge Utility District, S.L. Bowman & Sons, Ray Varner Ford, and Griffin Insurance. It's been a good year, and we thank our sponsors for being along for the ride with us. As you see on your screen, Mr. Seth Lau, that senior.
And that's some adults he's standing by, guys. He's a full-grown guy.
He's a big dude. And you know what's funny? We got some friendly competition there.
Now, this is what the rivalries are all about.
It's funny. I was reading a quote from Coach Green. He was talking about this Coalfield game, and he was talking about Seth Lau and how he's been here like 8 years, and it feels like that.
It really does.
Yeah.
You know, we covered him as an 8th grader up at Wartburg Central in a rivalry game between Wartburg and Coalfield.
Yeah.
And that just seems like the other day to me, and seeing him standing there well over 6 foot tall, just a grown man. Time's flying by here.
Yeah, it is. I enjoy it a lot, though, being able to see these kids grow and come into their own. So I don't know. I'm just happy for this opportunity. We saw a heck of a game tonight, and I'm blessed to be here for this one. Coalfield wins it 14-7 over Oliver Springs. The Yellow Jackets, congratulations to them. Region 2 Single A champions. And what a season for them. That wraps it up for them. They'll have next week off because the Oneida game got canceled, and then they will have a first-round playoff game the next week right here at Rochelle Field against Hancock County. So we'll be following all these local teams as we get with it. So, yeah, next week we will be at Midway. It's Oliver Springs Midway. So stick around right now as we'll have the 5-Star Preps Friday Night Scoreboard Show coming up next. And we'll get you some final scores with David Queener and Jonathan Cox. Thank you so much for Brad Jones, Jonathan McGuffin, Chris Brickey, James Gibson, Chandler Jones. I'm Aaron Harvey. I hope you've enjoyed this game as much as I've enjoyed calling it. So long, folks.
Football is back. And OEB Law is excited for a season full of big hits, perfect plays, and those nail-biting near misses. If you've been injured, OEB Law will come to your defense and tackle any obstacles blocking you from scoring the full and fair settlement. Call OEB Law 865-546-1111 and turn your wreck into a check.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
I am a Simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a Simplicity dealer.
S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I gotta go shower.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the hot water wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do.
Feel the comforts of home with natural gas. Natural gas tankless water heaters cost almost 3 times less to operate annually than the electric models. Make the switch today.
Renai, hot water for all.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
You call your agent with a simple question, only to get sent to voicemail again. We pick up the phone. Get this. Hello, this is Sam. How can I help you? Like I said, we pick up the phone because it's ringing. That's simple human sense.
Ask Griffin Insurance Agency in Kingston if auto owners make sense for you.
Hello, this is Sam.
Hi, I'm Ray Varner, and we've got the vehicles you need to make the most of this season.
Whether you're exploring the great outdoors or cheering on your favorite team, Let's take your fall to the next level. In a 2017 F-150 Crew Cab XLT 4x4, $38,990. 2020 Ford Escape Titanium All-Wheel Drive, $29,990. 2017 Subaru Outback Limited, $23,899. At Ray Varner Ford in Clinton, we are your East Tennessee Ford dealership. Come and see us today. Shop RayVarnerFord.com.
1952. That's the year Hammers opened the first store in East Tennessee. Now there are 5 stores and there's always something new. Like in Hammers' popular ladies' boutique department, you'll find the lowest price possible on new arrivals every week. Find similar deals in the men's department and the expanded rug department. Plus, special purchases always offer surprise savings. You never know what you'll find next at Hammers.